Oh my gosh, y'all started a hype train. What the heck? Let's go. Oh. Oh boy. I think I'm lagging. Am I lagging? I'm lagging on my end. Am I lagging for y'all? I feel like I am. Oh boy, oh boy. Alright. Oh, oh. Alright. I think I have to close everything again. Sorgy. Ripperoni. Yeah, clothes are clipping. No, they're not. Oh, Lord. Again. That. Oh, boy. Oh, dungeon. Don't mind me. Oh, God. Alright, no stream hours. Sorry. My body. Well. I'm back. Am I back? Hello? Oh, oh, oh. Okay. Ooh. Still a little not great. Oh, a lot not great. What is happening? Hello? Alright, let me go back into everything. Congrats on Bandit for getting first after Norman got second, because he didn't grab first for some reason. Thank you for 29 months, Mykonos. Holy heck. Gamby, thank you for the 5 stream streak. Tyboy, thank you for the 5 stream streak. Blizz, thank you for 8 months. Knight, thank you for 31 months. 31. That's insane. Shadow, thank you for 15. And you guys started a hype train. Blizz, thank you for the biddies. Rab, thank you for the biddies. Oh my gosh. You guys are so nice. Norman knows this place is crazy. Oh my goodness. We're at a level 2 hype train already. Holy heck. I feel like I missed a lot of chat while I was getting ready. Hello, Rab. Bandit Gamby, hello. Norman, hi. Hi, Ty Boy, good to see you again. Who else we got here? Blizz, hello. Knight, hello. Jarvis, hello. Yeah. Alright. I feel like I should put music on. Oh my gosh, every time I turn my head, I die. Why am I dying so much? What do I have open? I guess I can close fishing. I closed stream avatars and they're still going. What the heck? You motherfuckers. I said quit. Maybe that's why I'm still chugging. I have unfortunate news. Oh boy. Well, that's not good. Alright, hopefully stream avatars being murdered helps. What happens if I... Okay. Can't do that. I minimized VRChat on my screen, but it doesn't like that. Okay. Hopefully stream avatars is fine. Same? Guys, come on, I can't come back from a trip and y'all are giving me bad news. What the heck? You can't do that to me. Hello? Bubby? Behavior. Look at me. Oh. No. What do you mean we'll save it for BC? I don't want to hear any bad news. You're supposed to be happy and everything's good when I come back. Not bad. I'm not saying life should stop, but I don't want to come back and hear bad news. What the heck? Am I still laggy for y'all? It's better in my eyes, but is it still bad? I'm moving around. Am I still lagging? Better? Good at least. Okay. Well, hi. I brought us to an onsen because this is kind of basically what my hotel was like in Tokyo. 155 stream streak. Oh, now my arm's acting up. Come on. That is not where my arm is at all. Put it back. Put it back. Oh my god. Please, that's not where my arm is. Hello. Oh my god. Hey, I got a hype chest. Hang on, my arm. Please. That is nowhere near where you are. Like screaming. Hi, Ninja. Engine? Sure. Hi. Good to see you. Oh my god. I'm turning my hand off. Hang on. Pissing me off. Gosh, my trackers have been so wonky lately. Why is my finger stuck down? No. Okay. The most is happening. Norman, you jumped in chat and immediately chose second before someone else chose first. Real. 155 stream streak. I'm trying to open my hype chest. Please. Please. That's a serve. I got the Mykonos emote. Let's go. Okay. No, this is not a new outfit. This comes with the avatar. I just usually wear a different top because it's a little more appropriate, but I think this one's fine. But anyways, hi everyone. So good to see you again. It's been a very long time, as you all know. But I wanted to tell you all about my trip. And I have my notebook. Because I wrote everything down because I am very forgetful. Debating just getting in the onsen. Yeah. That way Twitch won't yell at me for my outfit because I'm in the water. Because that's how that works. Oh my god, I'm dying. Help. Water. Okay. Oh, that's a good one too, Shadow. I like that. Chill girl. Okay. Grabbing my notebook. I forget things that happened like a day ago. I'm dying again? Ah, heck. A long vaping session? Who the hell's vaping? What is my arm doing? Step it. Step it. Oh, yapping. I was like, what? No one's vaping in here. They better not be. The water is dissolving my frames. Are they still bad or are they okay now? They seem to have stabilized on my end. Oh, as soon as I said that, they died again. Heck. Alright, let me see if there's some stuff. Whoa. I can turn off in the room to make it not so heavy. Particle. Better. Place is so cute. It's all this stuff. Oh, pens. What are you? Cigarettes. Gross. What is this? Oh, mirrors for the bed. Haha. Okay. No wawa. Hi, fruit. It might be the world. Usually my PC's pretty good about handling that stuff though. But I just turned particles off, which turned off the rain, so I think we're okay now. Anything like rain and stuff is great. Alright. Back to my notebook. Oh god, I'm dying. I might have to close fishing too. I think fishing's killing me. Oh god. Apparently, can't handle streaming VRChat and anything else at the same time. Gurgles. Hello, Hellcat. Good to see you. Sorry, I'm dying right now. PC gets angry at me. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the follow while I'm dying. VRChat crashed. No, don't do this. Figure it out. You can figure it out. Everything's fine. Just fix yourself. It's okay. It's really cool. You can do it. You can fix it. I swear I've never had trouble with VRChat before. So, like the last 2 streams. Alright, I'm just gonna force close it because it's dying. Ripperoni. Let's try again. Sorry, y'all. I really don't know why VRChat has been so shitty lately. But I guess that's the normal. Hello, Zero. I know. That's what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You're so chatty. Wow, Rab, you're kicking everyone out of my stream? How could you? What kind of mod does that? You're supposed to be like, hang on, guys, she'll be right back. Not, all right, everybody leave, pack your bags. What the hell? Am I a joke to you? My VRChat died, but I'm fixing it right now. Everything will be okay. It's crooked as fuck. Okay. Where's my hand? And please. Oh my god, I'm getting Keems. Who's that? Shade the Kitsune? Thank you for the follow. Sorry, I'm fixing my stream right now. And ta-da! We are back. You booped their app, yes. You had Twitch muted. Why would you do that? Thank you. I love Echo. Definitely my favorite bat avatar for show. Okay. Do you guys want music on in the background, or is the rain okay? Can you hear the rain? Do you want me to turn up the rain? So bad at storytime streams, I swear. No matter how many times I do them. I forgot to do my tracking. And why? Don't mind me T-posing. For a second. Okay. You can hear the rain. You do want music? You watch other streams and get bored of them, so you just mute them? That's wild. What's your question, Jarvis? Thank you, thank you. Lo-fi? Yes. Let me find... I can hear the rain, just have to hold the phone up to my ear. Well, I can turn it up so you don't have to do that. But let me grab a... Ooh. Let me grab a lo-fi link. Did my Discord die? Uh-oh. Alright, never mind. Give me 1 sec. Watch me meditate. Just kidding, it's gonna fall on my head anyway. Haha. Okay. Bye-bye. I'll have to get back to business another time. Oh, sure. Yes, I will T-pose to assert dominance. Alright. Video player. Where do I put the link in? Settings? Video? Oh, what the heck? Oh. Okay. Link. Paste. Okay. Play. Loading. There we go. Oh, hi Al! Hello! So good to see you. How's the music? How's the volume, y'all? Good? Louder? Yep. Good? Okay. Alright. Now we are half an hour in and I can start story time. I'm gonna sit in the water. Oh. Okay. There's a girl that I like. We know each other, but I don't know what to do. I want to tell her that I like her, but I'm too nervous to say it. Yeah. Invite. You mean advice? I mean, the only way you'll ever know is if you tell her. worst thing that could happen is she'd say she just doesn't feel the same, and then it just is what it is. But I mean, you can try to like put the vibe out there and see if she reciprocates, I guess. But I mean, yeah, otherwise you just gotta do it. Oh, I meant to turn the rain off again. I wish it kept the sound though. I guess if I'm not lagging, it's fine. If I start lagging again, let me know and I'll turn it off. Yeah. I could be louder? Well, unfortunately, I am all the way up, so that's just an OBS thing, I guess. I can turn the game audio down to make myself louder in comparison, but yeah, that's the most I can do, sadly. You are very welcome. Okay, where did my notebook go? Uh-oh. Notebook. I'm sitting on it. Ah! Okay. I bought a notebook in Korea to write down everything I do on this trip because I am insanely forgetful. And I would be very sad if I forgot anything. So, but then I bought another notebook in Mount Fuji and I put everything I had written so far into the new notebook and then continued in the new notebook because this one's way cooler. It has like a wooden or bamboo cover thing and it's from Mount Fuji. So the other one was just from a Daiso, which is basically like a dollar store, and it said write it down and it was purple, so I guess that was cool, but this one's way better. In a college study, researchers are learning the biggest deciding factor in learning whether or not someone likes you is hearing you like them first. Also true. Thank you for the stretch. Oh, I gotta tell y'all, I'm jet lagged as hell and very sore. I woke up at 4 a.m. today and I woke up at 5 a.m. yesterday because of the jet lag, so that's been fun. Love that for me. But I had no jet lag on the way there, so I guess that's good. Oh, hydrate. Where's my wow? Oh, I dropped my notebook. Yep. What I get for putting my water far away from me. Holy fuck, who screwed this lid on? Jesus Christ. I know it was me, but why did I do it so tight? Okay. Okay, so I posted all my pictures in my Discord already, and I just finished posting all the stuff I bought, minus the stuff that are gifts for other people.
My mom!
Because I don't want them to see. So if you want to follow along with the pictures in there, you can do so. Oh god, what page are we on? 0. Why are you screaming at me? What? 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 What do you mean? He's screaming at me. 0 missed me a lot. He was very upset when I got home. He was under the bed like, "Whoa," like yowling, and I was like, "Baby boy, I'm so sorry. I left you for so long." I felt so guilty. Alright, I'm gonna lift this up a smidge. Okay, so yeah, it's in my Discord if you want to follow along with the pictures and stuff. What is my body doing now? Oh my god, the scuff is real. Okay. What is something devious? What is that? What is devious? Thank you for the alert, Gamby. Oh, that's not devious. What? You need to learn your definitions. You had me worried. But yes, go ahead. How is that devious? It's a good thing to do for your friends. You wild. Anyways. So, for those of you that don't know, for whatever reason, I was on a cruise that went to Korea and Japan from the 13th to the 23rd. But I went to Seoul, Korea, a day early, so we wouldn't be like landing, then have to immediately get on the ship. And then we stayed in Tokyo an extra 3 days after we got off the ship to maximize time there. And the very first day, of course, was Seoul. We landed around like 3:30ish p.m. after taking off at like 8 a.m. So it was very weird having it have only been what felt like a couple hours because of the times, but it was actually like 15 hours of flying. I've never been on a flight that long before. My longest flight before that was like about 8 hours when I went to Spain, so it was like double that. And it was very interesting. We splurged on like nicer-ish seats for the way there, so we wouldn't be miserable when we got there. So we got nicer food, bigger seats, a fancier like amenity kit, that kind of stuff. I put pajamas in my backpack so I could switch into them and sleep on the plane. They gave us really amazing food. I was super hype for actually good airplane food and not just the random snacks they give you. They gave us this like rosemary and cheese pizza twist thing. It was so incredibly delicious. I was very surprised. And I got the chicken and rice dinner. I forget what the other option was, but I was not a fan of whatever it was gonna be, so. But it was really spicy and really good. And then for breakfast, they gave us this like, I guess it was kind of like a Hot Pocket. It was like a breakfast Hot Pocket, but better. It had eggs and stuff in it. Spinach and feta was the one I chose. The other one was like a Nutella Hot Pocket, which in hindsight I kind of wish I got because I love Nutella, but I didn't really want something sweet first thing in the morning, which wasn't even morning because we landed at 3:30, so it made things a little iffy in my head. But anyway, I had to wait for my sister and my friend to arrive also, so I wandered around the airport for a bit, and I went to this like rice cake shop to get some more food because we'd eaten like 3 hours ago at that point. And they had like a assortment of rice cakes, which my husband and I both wanted, but they only had one left, and the guy was super apologetic. And so he gave me a bunch of free cookies, and I got myself some like black sesame like mochi squares. They were super yummy. They tasted like peanut butter, which if you've had a lot of sesame before, that's kind of what they taste like anyway. Tasted like a very like natural peanut butter. So I had a couple of those. And then I had a matcha latte. Oh, the Sun Drake, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Hi, Jacques. I had a matcha latte, but we were using this screen to order, and I don't know what the actual terminology was supposed to be, but there was one that was like time to be alone iced and time to be alone hot. And I was like, oh, those were like flavors of tea. I know, Jacques, I'm sorry. I just have to watch the VOD, I guess. Or you can just join the VC and I'll yap at you later. And yes, you are cute. Yeah, had a lot of fun in the airport waiting for my friends. There was a store all over Korea called Nice to See You. And there was one in the airport. My friend bought a shit ton of Rilakuma stuff in there because she's obsessed with him. And she's like, we have to not let me do that anymore. And I was like, we just started. We just got here. Yeah, we stayed at a hotel called Hotel Prince. And it was very fancy, except for the rooms themselves. And the room wasn't bad, but their only choice... Whoa! Bliss! Thank you so much for the gift subs, everybody. Oh, Leg got one. Let's go. And Snow Saver. Liz, thank you for the 5 gifties. Who? Oh yeah, the next 2 days, sub purchases of 5 or more, 35% off. That is true. So if you feel like spoiling me, I'm very poor right now after my trip. But that's my own fault. But thank you so much, Bliss. Thank you. That's very kind. um, yeah, we went to our hotel and they only have like twin bed rooms. So that worked for my friend and my sister who shared a room, but then my husband and I obviously got a room together and set up a goal. No, I'm not gonna have you guys refund my bank account when I'm the one that spent all my money. That's my own fault. I'm not gonna ask you guys to do that. um, but yeah, the hotel was really nice. Our shower was really nice. Apparently, my friend and sister's shower was not very nice. I don't know what the difference was. But that was the very first time I tried out using a bidet. So do not buy me presents. I just bought myself enough presents. Buy other people presents. Yeah, the first time I was used a bidet ever, so that was a very interesting experience. I already miss it. I will say it right now. I will probably never feel clean again without it. Some of them have heated seats, some of them have heated water, some of them have front and back settings, some of them have an air dryer. Like, it is crazy, but a bidet is very standard. Like, even all the public toilets have them. The only toilets I used that didn't have them were the ones like in parks, which were just like basically a step above a porta potty. So like that's understandable. There are also squat toilets, and I meant to try one out, but I only found one time, and we were in a hurry, so I didn't want to try to figure that out. And I meant to try it again some other time, but I just never found one again, and I'm so sad. But my friend did try it, and she said it was very fun. So there's like a bar you have to hold on to and then like lean back. I don't know. It's crazy. I wanted to try it. It's a new experience, but I never got to, unfortunately. That was the bidet. I was like, what is that word? But it was really, really nice. I miss it. I miss having a bidet. And the public toilets, they had this button that let you play like water rushing sounds because people don't like to hear you shitting, obviously. So you play that and like you can't hear anything and they can't hear you unless you're like groaning and screaming in there for some reason. But I also thought that was really nice. Even our hotel room had that option. So like, you know, if my husband's in the next room and doesn't want to hear me, or I don't want to hear him, we would just play that like water rushing sound. It was really nice. And why don't we have that here? But anyway, so we got to our hotel. We just relaxed for a bit because it was obviously a very long day of traveling. We unpacked, or no, we didn't unpack because we had to leave the next day. But yeah, we just got settled in, I should say. Some of us showered and stuff. And then we wanted to go out and find some food. So we found this like hole in the wall place that had the most amazing fried chicken I ever had in my life. And we all got some soju. My husband got a giant beer. I was surprised you saw that, Shadow, because I didn't even see it. It's so like on the side of the photo and out of the way, but of course you found it somehow. I was gonna get some Digital Circus stuff, but it was like $45. I was like, I'm not spending that. Holy shit. Especially on like a blind box thing. That's crazy. Anyway, amazing fried chicken, amazing food, amazing service. Everyone was so yeah, it was $45 for one of those things. I was like, no. And then we were still hungry after the chicken, and we're all kind of like jet lagged and staying up late anyway, so we went to a 7-Eleven and got a bunch of snacks and drinks, and I was so excited because I've been hearing how amazing the 7-Elevens are over there. I was gonna get ramen, but then I remembered our room doesn't have a microwave, so I didn't. The next day we got up kind of early because we had to be on the boat by 4 and we wanted to explore Seoul as much as we could. So we got up at 8 and then we realized that nothing opens until 10, and that's like normal. That's normal for Japan too. 10 or 11, which sounds so nice actually. But yeah, we wandered around the main shopping street, which was right next to our hotel, and like everything was closed. So I was like, what do we do? Another thing that we wanted to do was ride something called the Namsan, I'm probably pronouncing it wrong, cable car, which takes you up to the North Seoul Tower. I was like, I guess we'll just do that instead of doing that later in the day. And the views from up there are amazing. And it was super cheap. I think it was like $2 to ride on it. And we get to the top, and there's a bunch of like shops there. There was another 7-Eleven up there. And just a bunch of trinkets and like tea sets and like souvenir stuff, magnets, all that stuff. Does a 7-Eleven in Korea have? No, they don't have Slurpee machines. They have much better things. But when we got up there, I knew I wanted to journal about everything, so I was trying to find a journal there. Couldn't find anything. I was gonna get one at the Daiso, but again, it wasn't open until 10. So I did get a pen there though, and you could get it engraved for free with your name in Korean. So I talked to the lady about it. She had me write it down and kind of pronounce it, and then she found like Korean. I forget what the letters of their alphabet is called. I'm so sorry. But she found those that sounds like my real life name and wrote it down, and I had to take it downstairs to get it engraved on the pen. So I'm really excited about that, and it writes really smooth, and it came with a refill. So it was, and I think it was like $10, which is like expensive for a pen, I guess, but not if you're getting it engraved. So that was pretty cool. Are we robbing the plush store? Whoa. So yeah, and then the views from at the top of the tower were amazing. There were a bunch more souvenirs up there. My husband got this like gold-plated coin thing. It had names of places all around like the windows up top and how far they were from where we were, like Seattle, Dallas, but then like other places like Europe, those kind of things. So I thought that was kind of cool. But the whole bottom area of the tower itself, where other shops were, was absolutely covered in love locks. And some of them were heart-shaped, some of them were sold there, some of them had phone cases attached to them for some reason, some of them had pictures, some of them were really, really old and decrepit, and some of them were brand new, some were locked on top of each other, like 10 stack out, like I cannot describe to you how many love locks there were, because the whole top of this tower area was huge, and there's like winding paths all the way around it so you can get a better view of everything. And every single square inch of like the railings on both sides were covered in love locks. Like there had to be close to several 100,000, if not 1,000,000 love locks up there. Like I'm not kidding you, there were so many. So many love locks. An insane amount of love locks. Just everywhere. I couldn't believe it. I took a couple pictures just to kind of expand on how many there were. I didn't get them all. Also, when I got to the top, there was this guy humping a tree. I don't know why he was doing that. He wasn't naked or anything. He was just hugging and humping it, so that was very interesting. I was the only one that saw it, unfortunately. I tried to get my friend to come over, but she was not quick enough. So I don't know what happened there, but I think he thought he was alone and he was not. And then every couple hours or so, they had like a presentation demonstration thing of what it was like to be a guard there back when like the war was happening, and there was like beacons they would light up to communicate with each other. And they had the fancy outfits on, and they were like walking back and forth as if they were patrolling while someone was like describing what it was like back then. I had no idea what he was saying though, because it was all in Korean, but it looked very interesting. I had seen in so many videos getting banana milk and coffee and making a banana milk latte at the 7-Eleven, so I did that, and I got some matcha Kit Kats, and it was so amazing. I love banana milk so much. I bought a tin of banana milk because I love banana milk. I wish we had it here more, but it's really hard to find. Oh, we had breakfast at the hotel. I forgot to mention this before we left. And they had like rice and like spicy squid and glass noodles and eggs. and breads and just so many things. And they had these dumplings, and I wish I could describe to you how amazing they were. I had never had anything like that in my life. The wrapping on it was just so perfect. It is nothing like what we get here at all. I don't know how to describe it because it's its own sensation, I guess. But they were so delicious and so good. I don't know. I don't know how they did it or why it's different or if it's made out of something different, but oh my god, I miss it. I miss it so much. But the spicy squid was really yummy. There's like hash browns and stuff. It was such good food. After the cable car ride, we went to Starbucks because my friend was looking for a specific tote bag that they sell, and we wanted to try their Choux, CHOUX, Choux matcha latte. So we tried that, and we noticed there's a machine in there that lets you clean your like coffee tumblers, which is so nice because I feel like a lot of people don't actually use the travel mugs and stuff because then you have to carry it around with nasty sticky coffee in it all day, and like no one wants to do that, so they don't bother. But they had machines there for you to clean it, and it's so nice, and it's like, why don't we have these things? What else? Okay, yeah. So after the cable car ride, we went up and down, obviously. The Daiso was open. It's a 12-story Daiso. Everyone talks about how amazing the Daiso and the Don Quixotes are over there, so we had to go to the 12-story one. Each story was something different, obviously. So one was like office supplies, one was stuff for pets, one was stuff for your house, one was beauty products, one was travel stuff, one was camping stuff. Cleaning the lids from Travel Fast, exactly. So it's so nice to have that machine. I spent a lot of time in there, obviously, because there's 12 floors. But that's where I bought my first notebook. And I got some stuff for the cats. And what else did I get there? Oh, that might have been it, actually. I tried to be good because it was the beginning of the trip and I knew I had a lot that I wanted to buy eventually. So we were about to go back to the ship after that because it was like noon or 1 by then, but we got an email that because of the fog, which we landed in crazy fog, we landed the plane in crazy fog, but because of the fog, even into the next day, our ship couldn't dock. It couldn't go to port because it couldn't see. So they said we have more time and they'll let us know when they'll allow us to come over and start boarding. So we were so excited we had more time in Seoul because I was really sad that we had such limited time originally. So I watched this one YouTuber, her name's Carissa Eats, and she posted about everything that she ate in Korea that she loved so much, and one thing was a pork belly pasta and then a chicken curry risotto, I think it was, and something else. But anyway, that pork belly pasta, I've been dreaming about it for months and months after I saw it, and I had it on our list, but it was kind of far out of town, so I was like, it's okay, I guess, if we miss it, because there's a lot to do in town. So, but because we had extra time, we got to go up there, so we took a taxi real quick. It was a really, really cute little town, like actual, like more traditional and cultural looking buildings and stuff, little tiny streets, lots of shops on both sides, like that kind of stuff. So I was really glad to kind of see more of a natural Korea as opposed to Seoul itself, which is definitely more like businessy and touristy. We loved all emotes. But the restaurant itself was also so cool. The ground was all rocks and and like had a bunch of plants around, and there was like water and like an open-ish ceiling, and it was so pretty in there. And we finally got there and I got the pork belly pasta and it was so good. It was everything I'd hoped and dreamed. It was creamy and spicy and the pork belly was amazing and it was probably the best thing I ate on the whole trip. And I ate a lot of really good stuff, but I was just, oh, I wanted that pasta so bad. My husband got some like fancy steak thing, and my sister got some omu rice, which was also very, very good. And my friend got the pork belly pasta with me. We also got these like rose sangria drinks, which I love sangria. It's so refreshing. So with the rose in it too, I love anything rose flavored. Absolutely incredible meal. But we wandered around that town a bit more. And then we got an email that we could board the ship between 7 and 9 p.m., which is so late. But now that we knew how much time we had for sure, we went back to where our hotel was. And then our hotel was on a street called Myeongdong. I'm probably saying that wrong. I'm so sorry. Which is like their main night market shopping street thing. So I really wanted a coin purse for all my won and yen because my current wallet is like coffin shaped and it doesn't have anywhere to keep money or coins, and I knew we'd have to have a lot of that. So I wanted to make one while we were there. And there was this little shop that lets you make bags and passport covers and backpacks and whatever. And then they have like a shit ton of patches that you could put on them. Like a fuck ton. And so I found some bats and spider webs and little ghosties and little cats and my initials. I was trying to put my name in Korean from the pen that I got, but it was just a bunch of shapes. Like they didn't have actual like letters, I guess. It was like lines and circles and like U shapes and stuff like that that you would have to put together to make my name, and I was like, that's too much work, so I just did my initials in English. And a big patch that said I Heart Soul, and I made this little coin purse thing for myself, and it was super cute. And I was super happy I like got to make myself something. And then we got some street food. So we got the 10 yen coin, which is like super famous. I was surprised they had that in Korea because it's not a yen there, it's won, but it was still a 10 yen coin. And Korean corn dogs, of course. We got the one covered in potatoes and cheese. And what else did we get? That might have been it for street food. I think it was it for street food. I tried desperately to find tteokbokki. I tried so hard the whole trip and I couldn't find any besides the stuff in like 7-Eleven, but I didn't get any tteokbokki, which is like the main thing I wanted the whole time. I really thought it was going to be easier to find. It was not. I'm so sad. Yeah, my husband bought a shit ton of Godzilla patches, but that's later on. So yeah, we wandered around that street for a while. My sister got some shoes. There was just a ton of really cute shops. There were shops with some really random shit. Those are the Shaun the Sheep and Pepe and stuff pictures. The translations on things were very funny, like the meaningless and stuff like that. I don't know what they were trying to get at there. And there was like a pet clothing store because they are obsessed with making their cute tiny dogs look adorable in outfits over there. They had like kimono and stuff for dogs. It was adorable. Oh yeah, and then we went to a local shrine that was nearby and it had a castle in it. I wish I could remember the name off the top of my head, but I think I put the name in my Discord post. But there was a shit ton of cats there, like so many cats. And a couple of them were friendly enough to come up to us. Others we didn't want to like go bother, but you know, hello Carter. There was a big chonky orange one and he was so sweet. But then the one with the broken tail that it's like a 90-degree broken tail. That one did not like the orange one, but he wanted us to pet him so bad. But he kept coming close and just like screaming, and the orange cat's like, what the fuck, dude? And he just wanted us to pet him, but he did not want to come near the orange cat at all. And I was like, sorry, buddy. It's one or the other. But the castle there was really pretty, and then there was also a giant greenhouse on the premises, and the cats were like up in the rafters of the greenhouse. It was pretty warm in there and it was pretty cold outside, so I'm not surprised, but the plants in there were beautiful. I found a lot of the like shrines and temples, the really big ones, especially ones that like had a castle on the premises, would have a greenhouse or some kind of conservatory thing, so that was really cool. They had a little bonsai there, which were adorable, and they were super windy. um, Cats be cats. um, but it was so pretty in there. And a lot of people had like traditional outfits on and were walking around basically every single shrine I went to, or temple, or both. There, just every time there was a ton of them. I thought that was really neat. And then, oh, Maddie, friend requests. I have no idea who you are. From 12 days ago, I wasn't even online. I'm doing good. How are you, Carter? We went to the port as late as we possibly could, so around 9 p.m. So we were exhausted from being out from 8 a.m. till 9 p.m. wandering around Seoul, but I was really glad we got to spend more time there. I had planned a whole day because I forgot when we flew that it was going to be the next day. So we didn't have all day initially, like a full day, and I was like, oh wait. But then we got delayed, so we got to do all my plans anyway. So like, yeah. But on the way to Jeju, Korea, we found out that the fog and the storms and stuff wouldn't allow us to port there, so we had to skip it. And then they told us that there was a monsoon coming. So we had to skip the two southernmost islands we were going to go to, which was Ishigaki and Naha, which is Okinawa. So all those plans got thrown in the trash, but they told us we're going to go to Fukuoka and Sasebo instead because of the monsoon. So I was like, okay. Well, I don't have service on the ship, so I can't really plan ahead of time on what we're gonna do. So that kind of sucks. But once we ported, we looked up like what most people do in Fukuoka, and there is a fancy mall area thingy called Canal City. So we went there. And it's like a 5-story like winding outdoor mall. There's like a fake river that runs through it, and then they do water shows there like every half hour or so. And they had like every store you can think of there. They had like a Bandai store, they had a Pokemon store, they had a gacha store, a Sanrio store, like vintage stores, thrifting stores, fancy clothing stores, a Gundam specific store, which was separate from the Bandai store. Gosh, what else? So much was there. So we just wandered around that whole place for a while, and it was raining and kind of cold the whole time, so we didn't go out and explore any shrines or anything. We just stayed in the covered mall the whole time. We went to Family Mart first, though, to get an umbrella because of the rain. And I got some sakura mochi there and some royal milk tea, which was amazing. I got a Tamagotchi at the Bandai store. My husband got some Gundam stuff. I did several gachas there, which became my addiction throughout the whole trip. I probably got more gacha than anything else. Okay, ads. We'll be back in a bit. Enjoy. I'm gonna sip some water. Scroll. Why won't you scroll? Oh no. What is in the way? I'll kill you. Nothing's in the way. You're just being a butt. You are just being a butt. I can't get out.
Oh.
Piece of spinach was stuck in my throat.
Not the spanch. What is this? A skull. Another skull. Oh! It's hideous.
You talking about me?
No, of course not. No, Fruity!
Oh.
Hey, why are you laughing?
I watched it happen in real time. Holy shit. Did you record that? Thank God. Don't yurts. Don't eat my Kerper.
You're.
Don't yurt.
No, you're my Kerber.
Oh, hi. I don't know why you're limping still. Shut up, Liz. Why when I'm upside down? Please! Oh my god, why? Please help me! What is happening?
Oh god. They just fucking killed you.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. I thought it was gonna yeet my Kerfer, not have it yeet me. Game? Hello?
Oh, what's going on?
Hey!
Hey, thanks, buddy.
Tisca diamonds.
Hell
You'll
yeah.
do something nice.
So out. Why are you on a
Hell
200?
yeah.
Oh wait, I
Appreciate
missed what
it.
AI Meekin is. Honestly, with the chaos happening on the server right now, I'd say it's probably Nyx. What? I am not twiddling my ding dong.
Oh no.
What?
Hold on, I got some dirt.
Did he just blow up?
The ding dong clip is so funny. Anyway, hi, welcome back. Oh goodness gracious. My ding dong. Yeah, so we're in this mall and I'm trying to catch up where it was in my oh yeah. There was a Studio Ghibli store and I was obsessed with it and I had like 20 things I was gonna buy and then I was like, no, I can't. So I put most of it back. But I got a little Calcifer lamp. He's like on a candle and he lights up obviously. And I got a little coin purse wallet thing because I realized that I couldn't fit a lot of my money in the little coin purse I had made and sold. So it's like round like a frying pan and then like there's the fire coming up the edge and then there's like eggs and bacon and stuff in it. And the zipper is a little spoon and it's so cute. And it has a little pocket on the back which has Howl on it, and there's a wrist strap that's retractable like a lanyard, and the little spool thing for the lanyard is the thing above their door that changes to different places, you know. So I love it so much. I'm gonna use it all the time now. I kept all my cards in the back, like my credit card, my room key, and eventually my Suica card, so I could just slide it on the thing, and it was so nice. But yeah, the Ghibli store was amazing. There's a giant Totoro out front, which you can see in the picture, and they had everything except for they didn't have stuff from Ponyo. And we were trying to get Ponyo stuff for my aunt because she loves Ponyo, but they had nothing. They had every other like big Ghibli film, but nothing for Ponyo. Not one thing. One of the stores we went to had this little like cursed keychain of her, and like a plushie, which was also very cursed. And you know, it's just not something my aunt would use. But we were hoping for like, I don't know, plates, cups, some kind of useful merch of her. There's nothing. But they had everything else. They had towels, they had kettles, they had tea sets, they had chopsticks and chopstick holders, they had piggy banks, they had purses, backpacks, towels, I think I said that already, fancy dioramas, fancy like DIY wooden buildy thingies. Like they had everything you could think of in there. It was beautiful and it was super decorated. All the House Moving Castle stuff was on this like cart thing. It was so cute. Oh my gosh. I loved it in there. Alright, see you, Jarvis. After that, we went to the Gundam store for my husband and I got a bunch of gacha there also. And then we saw there was a performance by a J-pop group called Rosie Chronicle. They were performing where like the stage area was. I took a picture. They were absolutely adorable. I had not a fucking clue what they were saying, but they sang a couple songs that I recognized, so I guess they were just doing covers because I doubt it was the actual band. I think they were just, you know, like anime songs or just popular TikTok songs that are Japanese, question mark. I'm not sure. I don't remember what they're from, but I remember having heard at least 2 or 3 of them before. Merry-Go-Round of Life. Oh. Yeah, they were absolutely adorable. And the crowd was like 80% men, which I thought was very interesting. And they were all doing the dances with them. And like they knew who they were. And they had these like glow stick thingies. They kind of looked like the things that the guys that are directing airplanes use. But they all had ones that like matched their shirts. I think they were giving them out for the people that got tickets to be like right up front. But we were not allowed to take pictures. There was a girl like running around and stuff making sure people weren't taking pictures, but I took one anyway. I'm sorry. I just wanted to show people. But they were super cute. We watched their whole performance even though I had no idea what they were saying because they were just so entertaining to watch with their synchronized dancing and shit like that. I know, I'm sorry. Oh, and I got to try tangulu for the first time, which is that like sugar coated like strawberries and grapes, which I've been seeing in mukbangs forever. And oh my gosh, it was so amazing. It was everything I ever hoped for. It was so delicious. But the store we got it from was called Strawberry Fetish, which I thought was interesting. I wonder if they know that that's how they translated that. But yeah. And we went to the Starbucks there again so my friend could try to find that bag she was looking for. And I got this little matcha roll cake and the barista there was so sweet. She wrote this little thank you note on a napkin and gave it to me, and my friend got a latte and he wrote a very fancy long message on her napkin as well. And it was saying, like, welcome to Fukuoka and stuff like that. They were so kind. Everyone there was really kind. Even if it was just customer service kind, it was, like, above and beyond. Like, it was so everyone there was so nice. Oh, yeah. So then we were hungry, and we saw there was this place at the very tippy top of the mall called the Ramen Stadium, and we were like, what the fuck is that? So we go up there. And you go inside, but the inside looks like outside. And there's just a bunch of like tiny ramen shops like all over. And they all do different things. And like, I don't even know. But a ton of them had like huge lines. And we didn't have a whole lot of time. So we did the one that didn't have a line. Finn, thanks for the follow. Welcome in. And I'm glad we did because it was so delicious. We got some gyoza and then we got these dipping noodles in a tonkatsu broth. And I've never had dipping noodles before. So I wanted to see what that was like. They were much thicker than like regular ramen noodles. And they were more absorbent, I guess. Which makes sense because you're dipping them in the broth and it would stick to the noodles. And the texture was so nice. And obviously the broth was amazing. You dip the noodles and then you drink the broth when you're done. Chocolate cake is wild. Uh, so yeah, those noodles were absolutely incredible. And everyone gave me their eggs because I didn't want their eggs. I had so many egg. And my husband got actual ramen, but the rest of us got the dipping noodles. And I had some plum wine, which was super yummy. I love plum wine. And the gyoza was amazing too, of course. And wow, that place was amazing. I wish I could eat at every shop up there. If I ever go back, I probably will. But then we got back to the ship and ate a bunch of our snacks from Family Mart. And then we went to bed early because we had to get up early for the next day for a town called Sasebo. And we were supposed to be there until 8 p.m., but unfortunately the monsoon caught up to us, so they cut us off at 3 p.m. instead. So then we had to kind of rush and do everything that we had planned to do in Sasebo. And again, it was raining, so we just spent all day in this like covered street. A lot of Japan have these like covered market streets. It's kind of like the one in Vegas, except for not as obnoxious and lit up and shit. But if you're aware of what that looks like, it's basically the same thing. That morning, though, the captain was telling us about the monsoon, and there's a speaker outside the room which plays like in the hallway and in like the general vicinities of the ship. And then there's one that plays inside your room for like emergencies. And the captain accidentally used that one, and he's like, "I'm so sorry to everyone that I just woke up, probably, but blah, 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 blah," the whole announcement. He was really funny. The captain was hilarious. I loved him. Orange obsession. Yeah, he joked about waking us up, but thankfully we were already awake at that time, but I bet a lot of people were still asleep. But we went to the shopping street, and my husband had planned on wanting to like talk to the local police there because he's a deputy, so he wanted to kind of like just talk to them as much as he could. And like a lot of different like police stations will trade patches, so he was trying to trade a patch with them, but they weren't allowed to give him one, unfortunately. But he was like trying to communicate with them, and they gave him this cute little like keychain. Almost everything has a mascot over there. Like Giving Blood, the trains, cities, like everything has its own mascot. And I guess the police have their own mascot, so they gave him like a little keychain that they probably give to kids with the mascot on it. And he like bowed to them. He was so cute. I was so Starfruit Shibari, y'all are wild. But yeah, he was adorable. And then they had a Mr. Donut there, which everyone says Mr. Donut and I'm Donut are like the best places to go. So we went there to get mochi donuts, and I got a Sakura one, of course. They were really like crunchy, but then really soft in the middle. Like it was such a satisfying combination of textures. And then of course it had Sakura like frosting on it, and then little crumbles too. Oh, it was so delicious. And then we were trying to find a restaurant. We found this really cool one that had like marbles all in the concrete and like really, really old vintage signs out front. But they weren't open yet because they were only open for dinner. So we didn't get to eat there, unfortunately. I wandered into a bunch of random weird clothing stores with my sister, but I didn't get anything. There was a place called Gotchasaurus, which had a shit ton of gotcha in there. I got a bunch of ones there. I got the bread bird one in there and my Tamagotchi ones in there. And then we went to this store called Animate, which had, you know, manga and figurines and a bunch of stuff like that. That's where I got a lot of my Pokemon blind boxes. And then my sister and I planned on getting a tattoo. And we figured we would do it while we were in Sasebo because there was a tattoo shop along the mall. So my sister and I got tattoos. She is getting a sleeve of these cats. You've probably seen art of them. They're like Japanese traditional style looking cats, but then they have art inside of them, like as their patches and stuff like that. She has one right here that just has a bunch of like pretty designs on it, but the one she got was on her arm up here, And it's a cat kind of curled up, and then there's a bunch of mice on him, but it's like it's his fur. But it's a bunch of drunk mice, and they have cute little pink faces. You could probably look it up. It's very cute. But she got that, and I got plum blossoms on my arm because I love cherry blossom season. I love all the blossoms in general, but the plum blossoms are my favorite because they're like that more purpley dark pink, and I like them. So I got a tattoo of plum blossoms on my arm right here. And it was $200 US, so not bad for a last minute tattoo, and that's kind of average for a tattoo anyway. So yeah, got a tattoo, and then we had to go find lotion and stuff for it, but we were glad we had plenty of time initially because we had until 8, but then we only had until 3, so we got there at 1, and I was like, I only have 2 hours, and he acted like that was way, like, plenty of time, which it was. He was done in like an hour. It's regional police mascots, yeah. He was super cute. Not first. Hi, Joxy. Yeah, so we got tattoos, which I thought was really neat. The very last minute decision because, like I said, all the plans we had for the islands that we had to skip were in the toilet, and I was like, what do we even do in these places? So tattoo it is. It finally stopped. Oh wait, no, first we went to a cafe to eat. I got some yummy omu rice, and we got the strawberry like whipped cream sandwiches. It was like this fancy cafe. I got a matcha latte, and my friend got a strawberry latte, and it was so delicious. That was my first time ever having omu rice, and it was amazing. I would get it 1,000 times if I could. Well, I had a bite of my sister's, so I guess it wasn't. But hers was different than omu rice, I guess. Hers was like the kind of wet, swirly omelet surrounding like a pile of ice. Mine was the legit like omelet that you slice down the middle and then it all leaks out everywhere over the rice. That's the kind I had. I don't know if they're the same thing or not. I think they are. But yeah. It was super delicious. There's a horned lizard one? Hell yeah. Yeah, so we ate that and then we walked back to port, but on the way back, the rain finally stopped, thankfully, but there was like a car show / anime convention. I'm not really 100% sure, but there's a shit ton of cars there, and a lot of them were wrapped in like anime style things, like actual people or just cool colors or meant to look like something. And then there was a shit ton of people in cosplay there as well. So I don't know if they dressed up for the car show or it was part of their car or if it was a combination of things. Like there's a convention that just also had a car show, but the cars were amazing. I could have taken 1,000 pictures, but I just took a couple. And we just walked by, like it was roped off and fenced off and stuff, but it was cool to look at. But that was really neat. And I've been trying to get a Sakura Hatsune Miku figure for like 9 million years, and they had one for sale at the port. They decorated the port with like cherry blossoms and stuff, and there's a bunch of cool shops inside with like kimono and snacks and like magnets and souvenirs and stuff, but they had her there and I got her and I love her so much. And I got a bunch of fancy flavored Kit Kats there, but I'm not going to spoil the flavors because they are gifts to friends, so I will let you know what they are after they receive the packages. But once we got back on the ship, we opened all the gacha we got that day and compared them and traded and stuff like that. Thank you for putting that one with. Yeah, I love Ghost in the Shell too. I tried to take pictures of ones that I recognized or just thought looked really cool, so yeah, I was super hyped for the Ghost in the Shell one. I'd have pulled my wallet out immediately. I did. I did indeed. I was actually in line to get back on the ship and I saw the back of her head on a table that was like way in the distance. I was like, hang on a fucking second, and I like went under the line. And I was like, I'm so sorry. There were these fucking kids at the table, 3 of them, and the parents were telling them over and over again to just pick a fucking figure so they could go. And they were there for like 20 minutes, and I was like, please. Like, they already had some in their hand, but like one was being really indecisive. And I was like, holy shit. And like, there's only one person running the stalls, so they couldn't like help me instead. And I was like, pick your fucking shit and get out of my fucking way. But yeah, I have no idea what characters they chose. None of them look familiar to me. But anyways, and then yeah, the monsoon caught up to us. So the ship was rocking like fucking crazy all night. And then in the morning, we were supposed to go to Naze, which was Oshima Island. But he let us know that the weather was too bad for that again as well. The monsoon had caught up to us for that, unfortunately. So we had another day at sea when we were only supposed to have one initially, but he said we were going to spend an overnight in Kochi to make up for the lack of Naze. So I was really sad. I really wanted to go to Okinawa for all the historical stuff and Oshima because there was just a bunch of amazing stuff there. And then Ishigaki as well. We were going to do a like a mangrove canoe tour. Like, we had so much stuff planned, and I was like, well, I guess we're just gonna shop all day and be lame tourists. But anyways, I don't know if anything happened. Okay, so this is when my sister and I joined a Facebook group that was specifically for the people going on this cruise, so people could like talk to each other about it, I guess. You do want to go on a cruise, they're amazing. But there's this guy, you could probably find him if you're on Facebook. His name's Paul Beard, and he's Australian, and I think he's like trying to be an influencer, but he's some like weird old guy. And he was just on there complaining about Fukuoka. I don't know what he was complaining about, but he's like, more like fuck you over. And I was like, what? Like, I don't know. A cruise is what you make of it, and so is going there. Like, I don't think the town like owes you anything. Like, we had a great time. Like, I'm sorry you didn't, but like, it's not the town's fault. Like, I don't know. But he's complaining about, I guess, having nothing to do or something. I'm not really sure. But we were like constantly checking up on his like posts in the group, and like apparently he was the admin of that group, and he like goes on cruises all the time, and he is like kind of like entitled. I guess he goes on cruises so much that he just like, I don't know. You know those people like that go somewhere a bunch so they feel like they're important? He would like go on stage with the bands that were playing and sing with them, or he'd like yell at people for not going to the karaoke nights and stuff like that. And I'm like, we don't want to go to karaoke. We're in fucking Sasebo. Like, we're not going to come back to the ship to join karaoke. Like, I don't know. He was so weird. But we just kept checking up on his posts throughout the rest of the trip after that day because we're like, he is something else. There was this really cool orange-haired British girl that I had spotted several times throughout the cruise, but she came up to me at the bar while we were hanging out playing Uno, and she complimented me on my tattoo, and I was really excited. So then we ate a bunch of our snacks from the day before, and we watched Wicked on the TV because they were only playing 3 or 4 movies on repeat over and over again. So we watched Wicked, which was very exciting, but we stayed up really late for some reason. I don't know why we did that. I think we were just bored. But the next day was Kochi, and the weather was really nice there actually, but we couldn't get off the ship until noon, which was kind of annoying. But that was one of the nicer ports we went to. They have music playing for us, and they have this like giant Kochi flag and like a photo setup thing, and they were very welcoming. It was super cute. But the first thing we did there was go to Kochi Castle. And speaking of cruises, if you are a active service member or a veteran, you can get a free cruise on the Margaritaville at Sea cruise. So if you or someone you know is one of those, they can take you. It's free for those people. I don't know how fun a Margaritaville cruise would be, but if you like Jimmy Buffett, then or just want a free cruise, then there you go. Anyway, We went to Kochi Castle first, and everything was very short. Like all the ceilings were very low and stuff. I guess because that's just what they're like back then. But the castle itself was really beautiful. But the stairs were really weird. They were very steep and very tall. And I mean, like, I'm trying to think of fractions or fucking angles. Like 70-degree stairs. Like they were very steep. And I had to go down them backwards. Like that's how steep they were. But we got to go to the very top, and the view up there was amazing. And they had like dioramas set up of what like the town looked like back then, and they had like 6 samurai that would ride with the emperor so that people wouldn't know which one to kill if he was in town, I guess. And they just showed it was a big whaling town too, so they showed like a whole diorama of like what catching a whale and like gutting it looked like. And they had pictures in there from like all different decades, from like the 1600s or some shit all the way up to 2005, which made me feel like 9,000 years old because 2005 is considered history now. And it had a beautiful garden, which was kind of dead because it was still winter, but I bet it looks really cool when it has bloomed. After the castle, we went to a place called Hirome Market, and there was a little takoyaki place, and I was so excited to eat like an actual takoyaki thing, and it was delicious. I got the one that had mayonnaise and whatever their special sauce is on top, and it had it wasn't salmon roe. Maybe it was salmon roe. It was some kind of roe on top. And more plum wine, of course. We went to a bunch of cute shops after that, and I got way more gacha, of course. There was a giant domo there. And then for dinner, we went to an izakaya, and we had to like take our shoes off and put them in a locker, and it was all tatami floors. We had to sit on the floor on these pillows, and we got the chef's special sashimi platter, which had mackerel, tuna, salmon, and whale, which I'd never had whale before, and I don't think I actually had mackerel before. But it was absolutely delicious. The whale was really fatty. My friend and sister did not like it, but I did. It was a very interesting texture, very like slimy in your mouth, but not in a gross way. I don't know how to describe it without it sounding weird. 2005, you were in 2nd grade? I was in 5th grade. What the fuck? Anyway. So yeah, it was absolutely delicious. And then I got some fried eel. What's it called? Tempura. And my sister got some fried chicken there too, and that was amazing. And we got these like oolong tea cocktails, but my husband got what they call a big beer. Is fucking huge. I have a picture with my hand next to it, but I don't think it's doing it justice. It was basically like a pitcher, like a fucking like it was huge. But my husband had that to drink. And while wandering around where the stores were again, there was a dog on a skateboard, and it was this little guy. He was like this big. He was so small, and he was riding around on a skateboard, and he loved it. He like rode it over to his owner, and his owner like flipped it sideways so he wouldn't ride it anymore, and the dog got all upset and like knocked it over again and wanted to skate some more. He was so cute. I loved him so much. What else did we do? Oh, yeah, we wanted to stay out super late since we were spending overnight in Kochi now, and we wanted to do karaoke. So we were gonna go to this place in the mall, but then we found out there was a Round One nearby, which are also in Philly, and that place was fucking massive. It was 5 floors. The whole first floor was like crane games. The second floor was like gambling-ish games. The third floor was all gacha and bigger cranes. The 4th floor was bowling, and the 5th floor was karaoke. And yeah, Norman. I tried for like an hour to get this like Hamtaro bee plush, and I kept getting so close, but you know how those crane machines are, they don't actually grab it, so you have to kind of like knock it in, and I was so close so many times, but his head was too big, so I gave up. And then there was other Mikus there I was trying to get, gave up on those. I was getting really sad and frustrated that I couldn't get anything. And I was trying to get the jar of star candies one. I posted a picture of it. And I got a blue one, and it was hooked to the fucking crane thing, but it wouldn't go in. It was stuck on it. And I sent a picture to my friends after having complained that I couldn't get anything else, and I was like, this is it. Like, this is my 13th reason. Like, of course I finally get something and it won't fucking drop in the hole. So my husband came over and did it for me, and he got me a purple one. And I was like, well, I'm thankful you got it for me, but I still haven't gotten anything, so fuck me. But after we played games for a while, we played Taiko, which is that drumming game. I played the Bling Bong Bong Born song, and then the deer anime song, the Shika Noka 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 one, whatever the fuck it is. I played those because those are the only two I recognized off rip. That was really fun. But then we did karaoke until like 1 a.m. And if you rent a karaoke room, you have to get a certain amount of money worth of food or drinks. So I got this like chocolate souffle pancake thing. It was so yummy. It had ice cream on it and a bunch of little chocolate bits. And yeah, we sang karaoke. The videos in the background, like, I don't know what software they used to like decide what was in the background, but sometimes it was just like videos of cityscape and like different pictures and like different colors of those things. But then like if the song was talking about like fighting with your spouse or like anything about a relationship or was like supposed to be sad, they would just play these like random B-roll videos of random ass people. Like they'd be like a husband and wife fighting, but it was like white people. And I took a video of the one during Mr. Brightside because it was like a guy that got on a train and he like looked very forlorn, and then this like old couple sat with him and he looked really pissed off that they were there, but then they started talking to him, and then he like was happy after that, but then he like got off the train and was sitting forlornly on a bench again, and then he like looked at this keychain of a moped. That's the part I caught in the video. Like none of it made any fucking sense. It never made sense, and it was so funny every time. You could hear us start to laugh when he looks at the keychain because we're like, where the fuck did this moped keychain come from? What is going on? It was just the weirdest shit, but it was so funny every time. But we sang for hours and hours, and my voice was dead at the end of it. And then we finally made our way back to the ship. I don't know what time it was when we finally got there, but it was very long day. And then the next day it was Kochi again, so we got up early since we couldn't go until noon the day before, but we got up early to go to the Ryugato I think it was called Ryugato caves. There was caves, and I wanted to explore caves. There was like 3 other caves I wanted to go to from the other islands that we didn't get to go to, and I was sad. But we got to go to this one, and it was very legit. Like they had like metal walkways, but they did not like touch the rest of the cave at all. Like there was very tight holes that we had to go through. We either had to crouch or crawl through them, or like they're very thin, so you had to walk sideways. Like very intense. And sometimes the ceilings were very low, and sometimes they were like way up. And I took a shit ton of pictures in there. But a lot of the like formations that were formed had names. So there was like the drawn curtain, which really looked like a curtain, and the salmon head, and the rock that some kind of, I can't remember his name, some kind of god used to pick his belly button. Like that's what it was called. It was like the rock that blah blah used to pick his belly button, like something like that. And it was just really pointy. And there was like cave dwellings where like people used to live inside there, like a hollowed out area, and they showed like where they would have kept their fireplace and their bed and stuff like that. Well, not fireplace, I guess their campfire. their cooking fire. It was really, really neat. I loved being in there. It was really cool. There was a bunch of like way old people and they were like kicking our asses, like running through the damn thing, and I'm huffing and wheezing because the stairs are like 20 million things high, like trying to squeeze through and crawl through everything. And this Chinese lady came up to us and she said, "Ni hao," and she did like all these karate moves and then like went up the stairs. We're like, okay, hello. It was very funny. And after that, we went to the, what's it called? Makino. Oh, well, before we went to there, we had to go get a taxi from the tourist information center at the caves, and there was a cat in there, and he was very cute, but he just like walked out the sliding door. It wasn't a sliding door, it's like a electric door, you know what I mean. Anyway, he just walked out of there, and the lady that runs the place was like, no, no, no. But then she didn't do anything to get him back inside, so I guess it's fine. I think she just didn't want him out there because there was a lot of cars at that time, but he's fine. Anyway, we went to the Makino Botanical Garden after that, but we were starving at that point, so we ate at the cafe there first. And they had a Wagyu Bolognese pasta, and it was so good. Oh my god, it was amazing. My friend and sister got whatever the special was, and then my husband got a like Salisbury steak thing, but it came with a little cake roll, and I'm not 100% sure what was inside of it. We thought it was like like coffee beans. He did look angry, but he was just a grumpy old man. He was very sweet though. I think maybe they were like red beans, like red bean paste. They didn't really taste like anything. I'm not really sure what they were. But the cream part was good and the cake part was good. But the bolognese, oh, so good. But there was a ton of trees there. We were a little early for cherry blossom season there, so unfortunately none of those were really bloomed yet. But they had a fucking like greenhouse there too. It had a bunch of gorgeous flowers inside of it. There was like this translucent, almost like purple one, and it like glittered in the sunlight. Oh, it was so pretty. But when we were done there, right across the parking lot was a temple. There was a 5-story pagoda in there. There was like the hand washing ritual thing. I'm not 100% sure where the water comes from, but you like take the ladle and you have to like wash your right hand first, and then wash your left hand, and then wash your right one again, and then you're supposed to rinse out your mouth, and then you need to like turn the ladle so that the water cleans the handle, and then you put it back. There's like a whole thing you're supposed to do. We didn't know that the first time that we found one of those, but we knew we were supposed to wash our hands, but we didn't know the other steps, so we did that. And there was an incense shrine. I did light an incense stick and stick it in there. And then we got more snacks at the Family Mart before we went back to the ship. But all the shrines we went to were absolutely stunning. I loved every single one. They were all so pretty and intricate, and there's a whole bunch of different stuff at all of them. I think that's the one that had the wishing shrine there too. And we read about it, and you're supposed to, you know, do the whole ritual there. And then if your wish comes true, you're supposed to come tie like a red something. It can be anything, just something red to it, and then you can make another wish. But the red thing should have some kind of thank you message to the god that granted your wish. So you can have as many wishes as you want in your life, but you can only have one at a time going, apparently. So that's how you get your next wish. I thought that was really cool. Yeah, so the day after Kochi was our Osaka/Kyoto day. We ported in Osaka, and we were supposed to go to Nintendo World, but you need like a very special ticket to get into Nintendo World, and you can either pay a fuck ton of money to get in, Or you can go to Universal Studios super duper early and then enter the lottery and just like hope you get a time. And we didn't want to risk A, having to wait there all day, and B, spend that much money to get a guaranteed slot. So we didn't do it. And I'm sad, but maybe next time. But we decided to spend, because this was an overnight, we wanted to spend most of the day in Kyoto so we could see the Nishiki night market in Kyoto because we didn't want to have to go back and forth. Yeah, it's a lottery. It's insane. So we go right to Kyoto and we went up near the Arashima Bamboo Park because there's a Rilakuma cafe there, which, as I mentioned before, is my friend's favorite. So we went there, we tried to get a slot to eat there, but it was already like a 3-hour wait by the time we got there. So we didn't want to spend all day up in that area because we wanted to explore actual Kyoto more. So we just resigned to get some stuff from the takeaway shop, and she bought a fuck ton of merch there. She got these little pancake Rilakumas, and I got a hot chocolate, which had like 2 inches of whipped cream and then some hot chocolate at the bottom and a little Rilakuma pancake bear on top. And it was so delicious. And it was really cold, so it was nice to have some hot chocolate. What, Bubby? Why are you crying? Enough. So yeah, then we went to the bamboo park, which you might have heard about. It's like a bajillion feet tall bamboo for like miles and miles. It was really, really crowded, which we had heard is normal, but we found out later that it was the day of the vernal equinox, which is a celebration that they have over there. They like celebrate that day by communing with nature and being like grateful and thankful to all living things. So a lot of people go to that park specifically for that, especially to the shrine there, so it was extra crowded. And we didn't know until later that that's why. But I did the whole shrine ritual at that shrine, so I was kind of glad I did it there. You like go up, you pay money, you ring the bell to let the god know that you're there. You also clap twice to let the god know that you're there, because there's not always a bell. So you do both, and then you pray, and then you bow, and then you leave. So I did that whole spiel while we were there, which was pretty cool to experience what that was like. But after we left there and got back to Kyoto proper, everyone else was hungry, so we went to McDonald's because it was right there. And we wanted to get the Jurassic Park toys in our Happy Meal, but they were sold out. So everyone just wanted to kind of try what McDonald's was like in Japan, and everything just tasted a lot better because the oil that they use, and they have these seasoning packets for your fries and your chicken and stuff. So the seasoned fries were delicious. And the chicken nuggets tasted better because they didn't taste like really old fry oil. After that, we went to the Pokemon Center there. They didn't have Mewtwo at all there. They had no bat anything there. I was so sad. I was so excited to be there. They had nothing that I wanted. So I just got stuff for some friends there. And then, we went to a fancy Zippo place. They had like so many really fancy Zippos there, like Evangelion themed ones and like Batman and stuff like that. But my husband, no, they had no Zubat, Swoobat, Golbat, Noivern, nothing. They had no bats at all at the first one. No one. And no Mewtwo. Not one Mewtwo thing at all. They had a fuck ton of Mew, but no Mewtwo. And that's my favorite. Hi, wifey. I was so disappointed. And I was like, great. All the fucking Pokemon stores are going to be like this. And I'm not going to get any Mewtwo. And I'm going to cry. But I was thankfully wrong. But we'll go over that later. We went to the Pokemon Center. And then we went to the Zippo place. And then Kamui, you meant to message earlier. Message me about what? Kamui mentioned there's this store that sells Tabi, I think I'm pronouncing it wrong, Tabi, shoes and socks. And it was right next to the Nintendo store, so I stopped in there and offered to get him a couple pairs of socks. So I got myself some socks too. They're like toe socks, but it's only for your big toe, and then the rest are together. I got ones that I got a couple pairs, and I let Kamui choose which ones he wanted, and then I was gonna keep the rest. So he chose the ones that look like those fish flags, and then there was one that had a bunch of different like weather on it. It was really cute. And then there's one of these squiggly snakes on it. That's the one I'm keeping. And then I got ones that are shaped like a whale, and like the mouth is like where your big toe is, you know what I mean? And I got these Lucky Cat ones, and I got ones that make it look like you're wearing like sandals, like flip-flops, with little octopuses all over them. But they were super cute. I got those last ones at a different shop, but the sneak ones were from this place. And I was gonna get some shoes there also, but they're like $600. It was absolutely crazy. I couldn't believe how expensive they were. But they had flip-flops, they had fuzzy slippers, and they had like actual fancy shoes that all had that like toe split thing. So they looked really cool, but I wasn't gonna spend that kind of money. And then we went to the Nintendo store where they didn't have anything that I like really wanted. And I was a little disappointed in that. But I got a Makar pin because I love him so much. And I got a Rock Pikmin pin because they're my favorite Pikmin. And what I really wanted was Animal Crossing stuff. But the only stuff they had on sale there was this like aesthetic houseware brand thing. So they had like a kettle and like plates and Tupperware and stuff, and I didn't want any of that. And it was all like bright pastel colors, which I also didn't want at all. But they had like no other Animal Crossing merch there, no plushies, nothing. Like that's all they had. And then the Zelda stuff was cool, but it was stuff I didn't really need. They had a Donkey Kong hoodie, which my sister got, and a Donkey Kong barrel like backpack thing. She also got that. They had Pikmin hoodies, but they were only for kids. What else was there? Obviously a bunch of Mario stuff and Splatoon stuff that I didn't get. They had these Pikmin shaped like seaweed flakes to put on your rice, like hole punched Pikmin, like very small. They were so cute. They were so cute. I almost got them, but I was like, what am I going to use this for? But yeah, it was huge in there, and we got a free sticker for having a My Nintendo account, so that was cute. But yeah, I didn't really want anything there, but they had gotcha there of controllers, but they're like fidget toys, and they're like different parts of a controller. And different controllers like over the years. They have like the really old ones, SNES, N64, but then they had like GameCube and stuff. I tried so long to get the GameCube ones, but I kept getting fucking SNES ones, and I was so mad. I wanted GameCube so bad. It's my favorite, but it's fine. And oh yeah, I was trying to get like chopsticks and stuff. And I assumed the Animal Crossing would have that, but they didn't. I don't know why not. But we were starving after that, so we went to this place that specializes in eel, which I wanted to go to actually in Tokyo, but I realized they had one in the same mall that the Nintendo store was in, so I was like, we gotta go. Tappy! Tappy with the raid. Hello! Welcome in, everybody. Games and demos, what were you playing? You stream indie horror, Resident Evil, and you can get artsy sometimes. Very true. Remy the Bunny, thank you for the follow. Welcome in. Indie horror games. Oh, I love that. I hope you guys had so much fun. I just got back from a very long 2-week trip in Korea and Japan, so I'm just doing a little story time about that right now. So if you want to listen to my trip, you are welcome to stick around and take a listen. Tiny Tin Gaming, hello. Good to see you again. Yeah, I wish I had more time in Korea. We only got to spend one day there. But most of it was in Japan after that. But I definitely want to go back and spend more time in Korea for sure. Oh yeah, so the eel place. So there's like a special way you're supposed to eat it. They serve it to you in like one of those steamer basket things, and you're supposed to first eat the eel by itself, and then you're supposed to eat it with the rice. And then they give you like a teapot of this like tea broth stuff. You're supposed to pour that over the eel and the rice and then eat it like that after that. So I don't know why it's like a whole thing, but that's why I wanted to go there, because I thought that was very interesting. And then they give you like pickled veg and stuff to eat with it. I got more plum wine there, of course, as well. But the eel was so yummy. I was looking at the reviews and people were like, oh, there's so many bones in it and they're so rude if they know you're American and blah, 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 which was not true at all. They were perfectly kind to us and the food was amazing and I didn't have any bones in my eel, so I think that guy is just an asshole. And anyway. But we had planned to then go to Nishiki Night Market to get like desserts and more street food and stuff. So we had a pretty small meal at the eel place, but then everything was closed when we got there, and it's supposed to be open all night, but it's because of the holiday, the vernal equinox holiday. It was closed early, and my sister had told us how much she loved the night market when she had been to Japan in the past. So we were looking forward to it, and that's why we did Kyoto the first day, so we could be there overnight, basically. But then it was closed, and we were so sad. It was closed at like 8 o'clock. So we decided to go to the famous Inari Shrine instead, which we were wanting to do anyway, but we wanted to go at night because it was so crowded because of the holiday. So, if you're unaware of the Inari Shrine, it's one that you've probably seen posted on social media a lot. It's the one that has like 9 bajillion torii gates, those like red gate things for like miles and miles and miles, and you just like follow the path. And there's a bunch of like fox statues everywhere. But we went when it was super dark and there was like very few other people there. I think I would like to go back in the daytime and see it with all the shops open and stuff like that, but it was really cool to explore at night with barely any other people there. We didn't do the full loop, of course, because that would have taken hours. But we did like the main loop that actually just goes in a little circle. And just looked at the shrine and all the other buildings there, and it was really cool. And then we didn't want to stay too late because we had to do Osaka the next day, but we were exhausted. So then next day was Osaka. We only had until 3, which is a shame because the day went by way faster than we expected, unfortunately. But we went to Osaka Castle first thing. The line to get in was like 9 miles long, so we just looked at it from the outside. But there was a museum on the premises about, you know, the history and everything. But in the basement of this museum, they were hosting a figurine museum. They had really old and then much newer like figures of like anything you can think of. You know, Evangelion, Godzilla, Gremlins, Marvel stuff, DC stuff, other random video games, Pokemon, Nightmare Before Christmas, just random fucking cats, random animals, like samurai shit, Metal Gear Solid. I mean, just like anything you could think of, it was there. From really old to really new. They had like a Mewtwo figure from like 1998 in there. They had Spike from Gremlins from I don't even know how long ago. Just, yeah, shit ton. All the Godzilla stuff, Alien, Predator. Like I said, anything you could think of was there. Shit ton of Gundam, of course. It was really, really cool to look at. And they gave you a coin when you got a ticket for a free gacha at the start. And most of it was pins, but I got the one that gave you an actual figurine, and it was of fairy tales. I didn't recognize any of them, so I guess it's like Japanese fairy tales. But he kind of looks like Jiminy Cricket, so maybe he's that. I'm not really sure. But I thought that was cool that they did that. But then we went to the Pokemon Center after Osaka Castle, and that one actually had Mewtwo merch. They had a little figure that you could put in a Pokeball. They had a plushie, and they had this like kit to build him, almost like a Gundam, like those kind of kits. So I had one of those of Mewtwo there, so I have all of those now, and I was so excited. And then after that, we wanted to head to what my sister called the Scary Shrine, which was the big giant mouth one, the big lion head one, in the pictures. On the way there, though, we found this matcha place that makes creme brulee matcha crepes. It was so amazing. So we got some boba next door, and then we got the matcha crepe, and it was amazing. It had matcha ice cream inside, and they had crackers inside it for some reason, I guess to provide some crunch, and like whipped cream and stuff, and then like creme brulee at the top. Oh, so good. And then boba tea, of course. But on the way to the Scary Shrine, we walked past the like famous river walk that Osaka has, and I had planned to go back, but we took so long walking to this shrine and spending time at this shrine that we had to go back to the ship, and I'm really sad we missed out on the river walk, but I guess I'll just have to go back. But the shrine was absolutely incredible. It was way bigger in person than I expected it to be, and yeah, really, really cool. But we were far from the port, and there was no like train directly there, so we just took a taxi. But on the way to the station in the first place, we saw there was an insect store, so we were gonna go and check them out. Like, they sell like fucking like Hercules beetles and shit like that, but they were closed on a Monday. I was like, who closes on Monday? I was so sad. So we didn't get to look at that. But then we saw that there was a Legoland at the mall nearby, but it was more like an expo. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be, so we didn't go in. But my friend and I, in the same mall, there was like a petting zoo type thing. I'm not really 100% sure, but they had guinea pigs and those big fluffy rabbits, the ones that were like really poofy. They had those. They had snakes, iguanas, some other kind of lizard, turtles and tortoises. Like a big fucking tortoise was just walking around, so I gave him some good scritches. And then the whole back room was a shit ton of cats and dogs, and I don't know who they belong to. I don't know if they belong to the staff there or something, but they had like a wall of all their names and stuff like that, and like a little roped off area so that they could go relax without being touched if they didn't want to. They were so cute. There's one really friendly cat that looks like the cat from the mall. There's a weird fucking cat outside. That cat was really sweet. And there's another fluffy dog there that was super sweet too. But everyone was snoozing because it was like close to 3 at that point. They were all zonked and just laying in the sun and getting pet and playing and all that other stuff. They were so cute. I really wanted to hold the snake, but you weren't allowed to. But that's it. There was a parrot there too. You weren't allowed to touch the parrot though. And we fed the bunnies and the guinea pigs little carrot chunks. They were super cute. And then there was only one guinea pig that actually liked being held, so they let us hold that one. The other ones were you could like try to pet them, but they like run away kind of thing. But the bunnies were so soft. I don't really know how to describe how soft they were. They were soft to the point that you like couldn't feel them. Like, they were so cute. And there was another gacha store there, but they sold them like out of the package. So I guess if you're like missing something from a collection, you could buy it there. It was fucking huge, and I did not want to spend a whole lot of time looking around in there. I did find a Mewtwo, but he was really cursed. It was like really shittily made, and I was like, I'm not gonna buy him. But they had like the rare versions of ones for like a couple hundred more yen and stuff like that. So I thought that was neat for those that are like big collectors over there. What else? Oh, this was also the day that I ended up buying new shoes, because I had bought shoes for this trip, but I don't know what's wrong with them. It's from the same brand that my original shoes were from, but they just absolutely murdered my feet the first day I wore them. So I started wearing my old shoes that I brought as a backup. But I've had those shoes for years, and they were like really flat. Oh, ads. Just kidding. I'll return with that in a bit. BRB.
What is that?
Who's what?
Hello?
What the
Oh, the little giggly guy?
a little gremlin.
I love him.
Are we seeing?
Oh my god!
Okay.
Holy
Good
shit.
news is it's neither of those ingredients. Alrighty, Rooney.
You might be able to get an ear now.
Oh, fuck. Do you see him in the chat?
I'm over here.
No! Fuck! Oh no, Nix.
He literally said, I'm over here.
She's dead.
He literally said, I'm
chat
over
is
here.
vocal.
What? What the fuck?
The chat is vocal.
We gotta
What?
go. If you didn't know why I was screaming, there's an SCP down there. The one that yells at you.
Yeah,
and
that's the one I looked at.
Facebook.
Oh my god, we need to go. We need to...
Oh no!
Oh god, no, 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 oh god!
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Please, let me get on with
Yeah.
this. I need you to...
Jesus Christ.
I need you to... I need you...
Yeah, you need me?
You know I always need you.
Oh!
Okay, anyway. No! I need you to cooperate if this is going to be a success.
Yeah, Tess, is that what? Yeah, Tess, is that what you come back to? You like hearing me moan for you? You know I do a goddamn good job at it.
Well, it's great that you would ask, mighty assistant.
Please don't call me that.
You are so bitchy.
Okay, mighty Mal then.
No.
How about John?
Sure.
Why are we changing his
So,
name
John.
again?
Thanks for asking.
Rab-I-1 asked me, hold on Mykonos, let me just light this fuse real quick. Z inizischer Waycraze. Whoa, hold up there. Rab-I-1. We're all about lighting up the stream with laughs,
Why did he like,
not
ugh,
fuses.
like that? Did you
Let's
hear
keep
that?
it chill and enjoy the perfect.
Obviously,
There's
y'all
no
just
way
couldn't chill.
Jupe?
Snoop Lion
Regular updates to their favorite games, making sure that
Norman, how do you feel about your traumatic experiences tonight?
It was amazing.
Sounds about right.
As for me, guys, hit that like button and make sure to share with all your friends.
British Mykonos.
Oh, damn.
Alright, let's do this. Come on, let's film our footage. Film our footage.
Oh,
Film
boy.
our
Watch
footage. Why does Norman sound like Donald
No.
Trump? What? Ew.
Huh?
Excuse me?
Why would you say
I
that?
am Donald
Brother,
J. Trump. I'm going to build a wall, a great wall.
Stop
on
it.
top of
I am
all
going
Canada.
to.
Shut up.
Alright, I'm gonna
Alright.
go jump off the.
Right. It's
I'm
watch
sorry,
time.
What? Damn, Remy, turn them all down, girl.
Who do you choose?
Turn them all down. Turn them all down. Mykonos, you better shut your whore mouth. Why did Norman fuck that burger? What? You mean Mykonos?
Wait, what?
Norman
That was
didn't
me.
fuck a
That
burger?
asked me, why did Norman fuck that burger?
Alright? That wasn't.
Hang on, AI
Honestly, Norman
Mykonos is
probably thought it
talking.
was the best way to spice up his life. I mean, who doesn't want to get intimate with a juicy burger, right?
Oh. Sally, please. Hi, everyone. I am back. Ooh. Okay. What was I talking? Oh yeah, I was bought new shoes. The ones I brought, were like completely worn down. And all the walking we had done all over Kochi and all over Osaka and Kyoto and all the other places, my feet were fucking dead. I was in excruciating pain. I had pain like shooting up my leg into my back at that point because I was just walking on nubs at that point. So I was like, that's it. I just needed my shoes. So I went to the local Skechers and got some black and purple slip-ons. So an expense I didn't want to have to do, but I don't think I would have survived if I had not done that. So, because of my foot pain though, once we got back on the ship, my friend and I went into the hot tub, but for some reason, like halfway through, I think the monsoon caught up to us or something. It started raining. It was windy as fuck, and we were like screaming and dying, and we just went back to our room after that. And I did the best I could to rest my feet for Fuji the next day because it was gonna be a lot. So the day we went to Fuji was the only day we actually got an excursion through the ship, and I really didn't want to because it was way overpriced for literally no reason, but my friends and sister and stuff wanted a day where we didn't have to actually plan anything or like, whoa. We didn't want to plan anything or get a taxi and like all that stuff. So I was like, fine. So, the excursion took us, we had a bus that we had to get on, and there was a tour guide on the bus. Her name is Fukuoka, which means luck in Japanese. And she was super cute, older Japanese lady. I loved her so much. So we rode the bus to Nihondaria, I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correctly, ropeway, which took you to a beautiful observation deck for a really great view of Fuji. And there was a stamp that you could get on the side that you started in and the observation deck side, so I got stamps. But I missed it the first time. Because I didn't have my notebook with me, and I bought one at the shrine area, which is the one that I have all my stories in now. It's the one that has the bamboo cover. So then we were in line to get back on the ropeway to go back, And I was like, do you think I'd be able to run up there as fast as I fucking can to go get the first stamp and then come back in line? And I did. And when I got up there, I realized there was fucking paper that you could put the stamps on. Most of the stamp stations at the train station stuff don't have paper for you. You have to bring your own. So I didn't realize that. So I kind of bought the notebook for nothing, but not really because I prefer this one much more. And I fucking ran for my life to go get it. But I made sheets for everybody. And but yeah, while we were on the other side of the ropeway, it actually has its own shrine of an emperor there, and she was telling us about the emperor and how much he loved his horse, and he had a very special like stable built for the horse for after or if he died before the horse, basically. And then he demanded that the horse be buried next to him once they both had passed. So we saw his big grave thing, and then like in the corner there's a couple of wooden stakes in the ground, and that's where his horse is buried. There's pictures of that. But it's very sweet how much this guy loved his horse. And there were these two samurai statues at the beginning. One was going ah with his mouth, and the other was going with his mouth. And those are the first and last letters of the Sanskrit alphabet, apparently. So it's supposed to represent like the beginning and end of all things. Yeah. Oh yeah. They had a bunch of like, I don't know the correct term. I put it in my Discord. A lot of like crafters. They had a lot of people that build stuff move to this city to build this emperor's temple, and those people stayed and were the ones that like passed down their skills to eventually become Bandai. Most like Gundam and stuff had like originated from this town because of him making those people move there, so I thought that was pretty cool. They made like hero dolls and like wooden dolls and educational toys, which eventually turned into Bandai. So there was a ton of like special Gundam on display there because of that too. Oh, I got my fortune read there. And if you get a bad fortune, you're supposed to tie the paper to this like thing that's there. So I had the tour guide tell me if it was good or bad or not, and she said it was good, not great. But she said I should definitely still keep it because she said there's like great, good, okay, and then like really bad. So she said I was at like good. And it was something about if I'm currently in school, I should study a lot harder, and if I travel, the farther away from like my home, the better. And I was like, well, that's perfect because I'm about as far away as I can get right now while being in Japan. And like hard things will be coming up for me soon, but the fortune will like support me through that kind of thing. So that's why it was like good, not great. Barbados? What is Barbados? 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 Wait, what? Oh. Hi, puppy wuppy. It's so good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Hello. What is Barbados? The place? Or is that a thing that it is not a place? I'm confused. Anyways, so yeah, the tour guide was super nice, and she read the whole thing to me because it was in Japanese, and I was trying to translate it, but it wasn't the best. Yeah, Fuji itself. Gundam Barbados from Iron-Blooded Orphans. Oh! I probably did. We went to several different Gundam bases, so I probably did. I just don't remember what he looks like, so I'm sorry. But yeah, so Fuji, right? When we first ported, we like kind of saw something in the distance, and then I realized it was fucking Fuji. Like, I cannot describe to you how massive it is compared to everything else around it, and we were not close to it. We were in a town that's pretty far away. If you look on Google Maps and look up Shimizu, and where Fuji actually is, like, we were not close, and it looked like it was right there. It was so much bigger than everything else around it, despite being so far away. It's shocking. The pictures don't do the size comparison justice, but it was so cool to see from that observation point. And there was a cherry blossom tree up there, and we got Mount Fuji shaped sake, and I was super excited about all that. What's happened there? Oh, we got some chocolate that had shrimp in it just to try it, but it tasted like fish food. Everything at the temple had hollyhocks on it. That was like his symbol. Oh, but after the shrine, she took us to this place where we got to make our own chopsticks. We had to sand them with these little tiny like sandpaper things 100 times per side on both chopsticks. And then we had to rub this like lacquer stuff on it to polish it. So I have my own chopsticks that I made now. And they're black and they have sparkles in them that kind of look like lava. So that was kind of cool. Oh, our tour guide's grandma was one of the first female artists to the emperor there, and her art is super famous. It's in like big museums in the UK and Boston and in New York, which I think was really cool. She taught us how to count to 10 in Japanese, and she also gave us this song about Fuji that we had to sing. And then she started telling us about reading your fortune on your palm, and she said she's always wanted to meet someone whose hand and heart line is like one single line. So if you look at your palm, right, you have the line in like around the top left-ish usually, and then you have one that's kind of in the middle, and then you have the one that like slopes down like where your thumb pad is, you know what I mean? So if those two lines are actually one straight line across your hand, that's what she was talking about. And I actually have that. And she came up and grabbed my hand and she started like screaming, and she was like bowing and screaming more. And she's like, I am so honored to meet you. This is so cool. You know, they say people that have those lines as one line are like amazing leaders. They have really great leadership skills. Like 3 of the biggest like famous samurai of that area had the same line, and she said, I'm probably going to be president one day because of that, so sorry Norman, I'm taking your presidency slot. And she's like, I'm so honored to have met you. Can't wait to tell people that I gave a tour to like the next president of the US and stuff like that. And I was like, okay. Like she was losing it, and it was so interesting. Yeah. I'm sorry, Norman. So I was like, wow, I didn't realize how like rare that was, but I guess yay me. What do you mean say again? Are you not listening to me? Do you really want me to say it again? My tour guide said I'm going to be the next president because the lines on my hand said so. What else? Oh, so after we got off the bus to like end the tour, well, too bad, Norman. I was told that it is in my fate, in my destiny, because of my hand, that I will be the next president. Yeah, after we got off the bus, she like ran up to me and hugged me and started bowing again and like holding my arm, and she just kept saying how honored she was to meet me. And she was so cute. I can't. She was the cutest little old lady ever. But she said I have to invite her to my like swearing in ceremony for when I become president. And I said, of course, I will do that. She was so cute. But after that we were starving, so we went to a local like mom and pop place, I guess. It was more like grandma and maybe her kid, I'm not sure, or grandkid. But they had like a build your own bento box there, someone who arrives early and chooses to be second is the presidential material. You're so right. They build your own bento box there, so I got the one that had shrimp, a like cheesy crab cake thing, and pork. And they all come with like rice and like a side salad and stuff like that. But it was so delicious. It was made fresh, like right there. And then they gave us the bento box. Ayo, Norman. And I got ramune. Finally, I was looking for it everywhere, and it was in a huge fucking bottle, and it was called Fujisan ramune. I don't know if it was like Mount Fuji water or something, because they say the sake there is amazing too because of the Mount Fuji water. Oh my god, Blizz, please! You're an ass. Oh my god. Anyway, the food was incredible, and talking about it now is making me hungry again, but it was so delicious, and the ramen was amazing. And I kept the bottle because it has Fuji on it, and I just thought that was cool. But while we were leaving the port, there was the port people were playing these like big old drums and doing like a drum line thing, and they shot off fireworks and stuff, and it was so nice. A black ass, but an ass nevertheless. Talking about his black ass is crazy, Norman. Anyway, we sat on the back of the ship until Fuji disappeared into the sunset, so for like as long as we could, but then it got really cold. And we had to pack that night, so we went to eat dinner, and for some reason it took like 2 hours for them to serve us, and it normally takes like 30 minutes, and we're like, what the fuck is going on? And it didn't really seem like it was that busy or anything, so I have no idea why they were basically insane. But then we had to like all scramble pack because our bags had to be out of our room by 10 p.m. So we had to quickly do that, but we were very sad to pack and leave, but excited for Tokyo. Intimidated by baby man ass. So our boat actually ported in Yokohama instead of Tokyo proper, which we were excited about. And they had a bag delivery service there, which I'm so glad we did, because trying to drag all of our bags up through the trains up into Tokyo would have been a nightmare. So you literally just take it to them and they'll bring it to your hotel for you for not a whole lot of money. I think it was like maybe like $40 a person or something like that, not even. And yeah, it's worth it no matter what anyway. Like I was willing to pay whatever because the annoyance of dragging our bags all around Yokohama when we wanted to explore it, and Tokyo before our room was ready would have been a nightmare. So anyway, Yokohama had its own Pokemon Center, and so that one we went to, and that was next to the train station, so that was perfect. That's the Pokemon Center that finally had bats in it. So I got a Zubat for Jacques per his request. They didn't have Noibat or Noivern, but they did have Zubat, so I got him Zubat. I got myself a Swoobat, because I love him with his little heart nose. And they had like Golbat, and I forget what Golbat's the next evolution is, but that one was there too. And I was super excited to finally get a bat there. And then we ate at this little cafe that was downstairs. Their main thing was waffles, but they also had spaghetti for some reason, and you could get a side of waffles with your spaghetti, but I got a side salad because that sounded weird to me. But it was a really yummy shrimp pasta. And when our room was finally ready, we rode the trains up to our hotel, and our hotel was so nice. Yeah, Crobat, that's what it was. The hotel was super nice. It has its own onsen, and all the floors were tatami, and the lobby had lockers for your shoes because you're not supposed to walk around in your shoes. And the rooms were really nice. They had futons on the floor. The bathroom was amazing. Yeah, no Deoxys. I tried. they had such weird Pokemon as plushies, and like the fact that it was still so hard to find something like Mewtwo or something. Like they had the randomest Pokemon as plushies right now. So I don't know. It was very strange. I'm trying to remember what else was there that I wanted / got. Oh, they had a Pikachu holding a bouquet of Sakura, and so I got that. But then when we went to the Pokemon Center in Tokyo, they had one where he had the cherry blossom afro, and I was like, God damn it, that's the one I wanted, but they didn't have it at the other one, so now I have both. But anyways, the hotel was amazing. Absolutely loved it there. We were super pumped, like we were so excited to stay there, like when we were planning, so actually getting there was so nice. They had absolutely incredible breakfast. They had night noodles. They had free ice cream at the onsen because they want you to have that after you are in the onsen. And you could get the ice cream whenever you wanted though. Oh, my Tamagotchi's yelling at me. Sorry, y'all. Yeah, the staff there were incredible. They watched our bags for us while we were gone. And then, yeah, the room was so nice. And so we wanted to get, oh my god, why are you yelling at me? We wanted to get Wagyu steak, of course. So we went to one of those places where you cook your own on like a grill thing. And the place also had unlimited lemon sours, and there was like a spout on the table, and then you got 2 choices of syrups. So we got like a lemon one and a pomegranate one, and we had a lot of meat and lemon sours. I tried beef tongue. I tried a bunch of meats. I lost track after a while, but we ate a lot of it. Yeah, my sister got a Wagyu boat. It came out on like this wooden boat, and there was just like 10 different styles of Wagyu on it, like shredded beef and beef cubes and just like the regular steak bits, like so much. Yeah, I had beef tongue. It was it definitely felt like you were eating a tongue. I'll say that. The texture was very much like when you bite your own tongue, but it tasted good. It was seasoned and marinated very well, but yeah, I probably wouldn't get it again, but it was interesting to try. So yeah, it was interesting. I'd much rather just eat the Wagyu for that texture because it was obviously very smooth, but yeah, it was nice to experience, but like I said, I probably wouldn't ever get it again. And yeah, we drank a fuck ton and therefore got very trashed and explored the Don Quixote that was next to our hotel after that. I got a bunch of weird candies and drinks in there. They had this like probiotic yogurt milk drink in a baby bottle that I bought because I just wanted to see what that was like. And then I got some midnight noodles at our hotel. They're made fresh, like right in front of you. Like you literally go up and grab a bowl, and she pours a bunch of broth in it. She like cooks the noodles right there, dumps it in, and then there's a bunch of like toppings that you can put on top of it. I got a bunch of yuzu and peppers and white pepper and stuff to put in it. It was so good. And they have that for free every night. Every night. Oh, and at Don Quixote, they had these like, if you've ever like watched a mukbang, they have these like jellies in balloons, like literal balloons, and you have to like stab them with a toothpick and eat them like that. And they were the craziest texture. I don't know how to describe the texture without being inappropriate, but it feels like I don't know. I probably shouldn't say this on Twitch, but it felt like something that men have in your mouth, but smooth. That's what it feels like. And they were just so good. They were like what were they called? some kind of like jelly grape flavor, but not artificial grape. It was a different kind of grape. But I don't know how else to describe it because it was really soft and squishy on the outside, but then there was like a harder bit in the middle, but it was all just one big jelly. So it's like it's not anything different. I don't know. It's just what it reminded me of. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna say it. That's what it felt like. I'm sorry! I don't know how else to describe it. They were so soft and squishy, but then like a little more solid in the middle. Like that's what they felt like. But anyway, while we were eating our midnight noodles, there was some weird TV show on. And I don't know if it was like a prank show or I don't know. I don't know what was going on because obviously I couldn't understand it. But they had this guy like drink a beer. You didn't know the food was that good? What do you mean? It's not about the taste, it's about the texture. It felt like experimenting in college. I mean, I wasn't doing that in college, but you do you. So they had this guy drink a beer, right? And then they, for some reason, had him bend over and like first he bended over with his pants on, and then they turned on this like this heat tracker thing, like you know the like rainbow like heat map thing. They had that on his butt, and it just showed like how hot it was where his butthole was compared to the rest of his butt, right? And then they had him take his pants off and just his underwear and do it again. Yeah, thermal. And then they had him take his underwear off and they censored it, but they only censored it on the actual butt side, so you could kind of see everything else on the thermal camera side. And then they had him get on all fours and like lift his leg like a dog, and they just kept showing how hot his butt was, and I don't know what the fuck was going on. It was the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. It was so funny, and we were obviously still drunk from the lemon sours, so it was even funnier. And we were just like, what the hell is happening on this show? And I don't, like I said, I don't know if it was like a prank show where they were like pretending to run tests on him or something, or if it was just what they were fucking doing. There was like two guys talking, like floating heads basically, like the hosts of the show maybe talking about whatever was going on. I have no fucking idea. It was the funniest thing I ever saw. Oh my god. Oh, and then we saw before we headed into the Don Quixote, like we came out of that area, went back to the hotel, and came immediately back to the Don Quixote, and there was like a whole big thing set up there, and we're like, when the hell did this happen? But it was like a bunch of red lanterns, and then there was a bunch of girls dressed up as men. They looked very hot because they looked like butch lesbians, I guess. And then there was a geisha like dancing, and they were like performing to a song. And then I didn't realize until he started talking, but the geisha was a guy, so it was like a drag show. And I was like, oh, what the fuck? So all the women were men and the men were women, and it was very interesting. But they did this whole performance, and it was very nice. I very much enjoyed watching it. Yeah, that happened. And then we went to the Don Quixote, and then we went back to our hotel and passed out. And the next day, my friend and sister were very hungover, but thankfully I was not. But I got up and had breakfast. They had just like fresh fish, like fresh grilled fish, like salmon and mackerel and stuff that you could eat. They had those like, you know, those like, I don't know how to describe them. They're kind of like the raindrop cake jellies. They're like already covered in mochi and like I think it was like a soybean powder. But you pour like a brown sugar syrup on them. They were so good. I had like 9 million of those. They had an almond and cherry blossom like jelly yogurt thing going on. They had really yummy scrambled eggs. They had fish eggs and stuff, and like tiny shrimp for your rice. They had this like weird egg shrimp souffle thing, which the flavor was good, but the texture was like a really runny, like sunny side up egg, and I don't like that texture, so I couldn't eat it. It was way too snotty. No, they didn't have pudding. They had yogurt with like fresh fruits and like berry syrups, but like not the artificial ones, like actual berry syrups to make your own yogurt flavor. And it was so good. This was the day we wanted to spend in like Tokyo proper because that's where the Pokemon Cafe was. But my husband wanted to go to the Gundam base, which was pretty far south, so I went to that with him while my sister and friend stayed in Tokyo Station to shop. So we go down there. It's in a mall that's called Diver City, and the Gundam base was like the whole 6th floor. Like, it was fucking huge. And we go, and they're not taking people until 3 o'clock, and it was like noon, so we're like, shit. So we're debating if we're gonna stay or not because we had to be at the Pokemon Cafe by 4:45 or they were gonna give our seats away. And it was an hour by train from Diver City to there. So even if you only spent like a half an hour in there and then we took the trains and everything was perfect, it was still gonna cut really close. So we were debating if we were gonna stay or not. And while we were waiting, we went outside and I realized that it was close to 1 o'clock at that time, which is when the Unicorn Gundam, the really tall, like life-size one out front, transforms into the Unicorn Gundam. So we got to watch that, which was really, really cool. And then we just went back inside and wandered around the mall. We decided we were just gonna pay for a taxi from there because it's only 20 minutes by taxi up to where the Pokemon Cafe is. So like we'll just buy a taxi, that way we don't have to worry about it, and that way he can still go to the Gundam base because he was really looking forward to that. The Resident Evil themed cafe. Oh man, it's a shame it's no longer open. There's tons of other cafes though. There's Kirby, there's Pom Pom Purin, I think there's a Ghibli one, and then there's like Mini Pig and Capybara and cat cafes. So I mean, you'll definitely find something you like. Yeah, the Unicorn Gundam. Yeah, there's a huge, like I said, life-size one out front, and then it transformed, like its horn split into two, and like the parts of it turned red and stuff like that. It was really cool. Yeah, we just wandered around the mall for a while. I found a Toys R Us in there where I got some stuff for some friends, but that's where I found the Amazing Digital Circus stuff and apparently Kingdom Hearts stuff. But they had like HoloLive figurines there. There was like a secondhand manga store. They had really old consoles there, like an N64 for like $60 and like old controllers, and I was really debating getting it, but my suitcase is so full at this point. But they had like the see-through purple N64 controller and stuff, and I was like, gah. And there was a lot of games I really wanted there, but I knew they were going to be in Japanese, so I didn't bother. Yeah, I thought it was really cool that they were there. That's why I took a picture of it. But they were $45, and I was like, absolutely the fuck not. I'm not spending that on a blind box. I really wanted to. And again, I just was worried it was all going to be in Japanese, so that's why I didn't. And also because I didn't really have space in my suitcase at this point. But yeah, we finally went into the Gundam base, and you have to line up like by number, and you only have like an hour to be in there. Like, it was really strict there as opposed to the one that we saw in Fukuoka, so it was really crazy. But the whole waiting area before you go in had like, I don't know, like 50 Gundam that were designed by like local artists and music, like local artists, and just like random fucking people. I had no idea who they were. There was one that was like painted Vanta black. There was one that was made by a local like singer, and I think it was a singer group, like 2 people. You know, some were just the regular Gundam but painted to look more aged or like more color accurate or stuff like that. There was one that was like a plum blossom theme, and it was like purple and stuff. That was my favorite one. But the Vanta black one was like in a box, and you couldn't see it unless you like turned a light on it, which was really cool. Yeah, like so many. There's like big golden ones. There was like a huge black one with like crazy wings and shit. And then there's like little small ones, like so many. So my husband took like 9,000 pictures of all of those while we were waiting to get in. And there was like a ton of dioramas set up around like all the main shelves. You know, like the bullets flying and the missiles and the explosions. There's the one that I took of him shooting the thing up in the air with his head gone. Yeah, shit ton. Shit ton of Gundam in there. My husband bought one that was exclusive to that Gundam base specifically. He had a different one at first, but he wanted, you know, the main reason for being there is to get the exclusive ones. The previous Gundam base, I forgot to mention, he got this like golden 7-Eleven one, which again was just another like Japan exclusive one that he had to get. Yeah, the Gundam base was fucking huge, and they had really cool clothing and stuff there too. We spent a lot of time just kind of looking around in there, and then he made his purchases, and we got a taxi. And this taxi driver was the sweetest little old man I've ever met in my entire fucking life. He had this thing that he would speak into it, and it would play on a speaker that was like facing us in English what he was saying. So he asked where we were going. I said we're going to the Pokemon Cafe, and he got really excited, and he was like, oh, what time's your reservation? Because he knows, like, if you're not there on time, like, you're gonna get fucked. And I was like, it's not until 5, it's fine. It was like 3:30 at that time, like, and we were only 20 minutes away. I was like, it's all good, like, no rush. And he was like telling us about all the different Pokemon centers and like the biggest ones in this place called Sunshine City, and he was like showing us pictures of it. He was asking how many more days we're in Tokyo, and like asking us all these questions. He was so sweet. He was the nicest guy ever. And I'm trying to respond to him in Japanese as much as I can, but I don't know very much of it. So we get to where the Pokemon Center is at like 4. So there's a mall like right next to the building that the Pokemon Center's in. So we went in there initially because we were going to explore, but he like hopped out of his cab and was like, no, this building. And I was like, oh, okay. And I didn't want to like try to explain what we were doing, so we just went into that building anyway, and we were like, thank you. And he gave me these like apple high chews, and I love high chews, and there's little crunchies in them. And I've never had ones with little crunchies in them before. They're like rock candy texture, like Pop Rocks, but they don't pop. But they're inside, and they were apple flavored, and they were so yummy. And it was so nice of him to give us that. He was just so sweet. I miss him. Square Enix Cafe in Akihabara. Yeah, we were gonna go there, but we ran out of time. But yeah, so we go up to the Pokemon Cafe. There's a Pokemon Center next to that one as well, so that was when we wandered around in there for a bit. But I pretty much gotten everything I wanted to at that point. I just looked again for plushies that people might have wanted, and again, there was nothing. But that was one of the nicer ones, I think. There was a big Snorlax out front. He was really cute. So we get in line for the Pokemon Cafe, and there's like different sections of the restaurant. There's like the Eevee, the Lapras, the Pikachu, and stuff like that. We didn't get to choose where we sat, but I asked if we could sit together, and they like sat us in a line at the Lapras table, which is like a big banquet table, instead of at one of the 4 tops. I'm not really sure why they did that. But it was an interesting experience. And when you get there, you have a placemat, a paper placemat, but it's upside down so that you can like reveal what your Pokemon is when you get there. So that was pretty cute. None of us recognized our Pokemon though. I did. I think I got the purple bike from Violet. And then my sister got some weird version of Magneton. However you pronounce it. It's this one with like fuzzy caveman fur on it, which I guess is from a newer game. I don't know. And then I didn't recognize the other 2 at all. I couldn't even describe them to you. So we were a little saddened by that. But when you order a drink, they let you like tap an iPad, and it's like a random chance that you'll win something bigger than just a coaster. But we all just got the coasters, but they're really cute coasters. There's Sprigatito, Fuecoco, Pikachu, and it's the evolution of the apple guy, the little apple dude, him. It's the evolution of him, and they're dressed up in chef outfits on these coasters, and they're really cute. So we all each got one different one. Oh, and Eevee. Eevee was another one that we got. Magnezone? That sounds like a magma creature. I don't think that's right, but maybe I'm wrong. And yeah, so obviously all the food was Pokemon themed. My husband got this grape smoothie with a Gengar glass. I hate the taste of artificial grape with every single fiber of my being, so I didn't like it. I tried it just to see if it was that, and it was, and I hated it. But we got to keep the glass, so that's cool. It just has Gengar's face on it, but it had little like cookie ears in it. And then the apple Pokemon, they actually had a special drink for him for that month. So it was an apple like soda drink with like an apple pastry on top, which was really tasty. They had the teapot / cup Pokemon, the one that also evolves into a matcha cup thing. So I got the regular fruit tea that comes with like a strawberry syrup in the regulars. I think it seems like spirit tea or something like that. Set, and I really wanted to buy the teapot and cup because I don't have my own yet, but it was really, really expensive. And so I decided not to. But I also got the matcha latte, which came in the matcha version of that Pokemon, which was really, really cute also. And then their main dish that they serve there is the Pikachu curry. And you can get the Charizard, Bulbasaur, or Squirtle version, and it just changes what like the other main dish on there is. The Charizard was a hamburger. Oh no, sorry, chicken cutlet. The Bulbasaur was an avocado like potato salad, and the Squirtle was some kind of like seafood salad. So I got the Charizard because I wanted the chicken cutlet, and it comes also with a burger with a cheese Pokeball on top of it, and the curry was amazing, and I really felt bad eating the Pikachu. He was so cute. Applin, yes. What is the Artina Cafe? I don't know what that is. And then I got this giant Pikachu like ice cream parfait at the end, but it was kind of hard to eat because there was like a layer of granola and there was like more ice cream and brownies at the bottom, but there was just a solid layer of granola that I could not get my spoon through. So I had to like eat everything on top and then the granola and then eat what was on the bottom. So that was kind of annoying. My friend and sister both got the Pikachu pancake for dessert. I was hoping one of them would get the one where it's a Pokeball and you open it and there's supposed to be different Pokemon inside of it. But it was the most expensive thing on the menu, so I guess that's why we didn't buy it. Oh, thank you for the hydrate. I gotta get up. Oh my god. Whoops. Anyway. I don't know if you guys heard that. I just knocked everything off my desk. Anyway. Oh, hi Sally. I'm sorry to disturb you. Yeah, we did. Sorry. I knocked my water bottle over, she knocked my cup over, she knocked my candle off my desk, like just, and all of my advanced EG tubs, everything's on the floor. But I'm fine. So halfway through our meal, this like Pikachu chef mascot comes out and he's like running up and down the aisles and dancing, and the waitress is saying a bunch of shit. I have no idea what she's saying. I'm sure it's all very exciting, but she says something about like not touching him when he comes by, and I took a selfie with him and he was like dancing, and they did like if you're happy and you know it, clap your hands song. That was in English for some reason. I'm not 100% sure why, but they had us do like a weird like Pikachu version of that. And I like I said, I have no idea what she was saying half the time. He like went to the other side and did some like crazy dance thing, came back over to us. I was trying to follow along, and eventually I just gave up and just kept eating my food. I bought a Pokeball themed waffle maker. Ooh, I have a skull one, which I love very much, and I got my sister a Shrek one. And they were selling one there. I think it was Pikachu probably. I wanted to get it really bad, but I didn't. They also sold a lot of frying pans that had like molds in them. There was a Calcifer one that I almost got, and some other Ghibli ones. And then there was a Pikachu one at the cafe, of course. Very, very cute. Yeah, the meal was absolutely incredible. Super duper delicious. Definitely worth the hassle of trying to get a reservation there. We actually paid someone on Fiverr to book it for us because it's really hard to get a reservation, and you have to like do everything in Japanese, and everything on the site's in Japanese, and like when you're trying to do that quickly when you're not knowing what's going on, it's really hard. So I paid some girl on Fiverr to get it for us, and she did, and she was amazing. Yeah, food was incredible. The experience was amazing. They just played a bunch of songs and danced around, and I loved it. Taxi driver. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, so after the Pokemon Cafe and we got back to like nearby Tokyo Station again, we read about this restaurant. It's called Philly, and it's a guy that's from Philly that moved there and opened a shop that makes he makes Philly food. Obviously cheesesteaks, and he makes them properly, not with fucking provolone and peppers and onions. I will kill you. He has the actual cheese whiz and stuff. He makes tomato pies. He had pretzels. He had so much stuff from Philly, and we were so pumped. And we were really full from the Pokemon Cafe, so we all split a cheesesteak together, so it was cut into fours. And we had some drinks there, and it was really, really busy, and we were surprised at how busy it was. I mean, it was really good and worth it, but I just didn't expect a lot of Japanese people to care. But we found out later it was National Cheesesteak Day that day, so that's why it was so crowded. I'm doing good, Shade. So I guess we lucked out and got a cheesesteak on National Cheesesteak Day, but they had like Eagles cups and like they had a big thing that said "Go Birds." Like it was a nice little taste of home while being abroad. But we had heard about it before because during the Super Bowl he was like quizzing people for like permission to enter the shop about like the Super Bowl and football, I guess, in Philly. So I thought that was pretty funny. But that was finally when I was able to buy a Suica card because none of the other stations had them. They had a Passmo, but I really wanted Suica, so I finally got a Suica card. And I almost got it with my name on it, but it was like way more money, so I was like, I don't need all that. But that was the first night I finally went into our hotel's onsen, and they gave me patches for my tattoos, but I didn't want to put one on my fresh one because it was gonna like rip all my skin off basically. So I just wrapped my towel around it and hoped no one would mind. I didn't really think anyone there would actually care that I had tattoos, but I also didn't want to like make anyone upset, so I covered the rest as best I could. One under my titty was really hard to cover, so I just covered what would peep out between my cleavage because my boobs kind of cover the rest of it, thankfully. And then I had one wrapped all the way around my leg and then my other arm, and like it was obnoxious. I didn't do the one on my back either because I couldn't see it, and I was like, I'll just have my back to the wall so no one sees it. But it was so nice. And it's really kind of just like nice and empowering to be in a giant hot sauna bath with other naked women, and no one cares and no one's judging people, and like it's just nice. But they have these two baths in the back that are more like a big tub. We just called it the soup. We said we were gonna go be soup now when we wanted to go down there and just sit in that thing, but it got fucking really hot. The bottom of it is what heated up, so if you're like sitting on it and it starts to heat up, like your ass burns. But the big onsen bath itself was really nice, and there's like a whole like spiel you have to do with that too. Like you have to basically shower off before you get in it, and you need to rinse off afterward, and you're like not supposed to bring a towel in there, but you can bring the little brown towel which you're supposed to put on your head, but you can put it wherever you want really. And that's the one I had wrapped around my tattoo on my arm. Yeah, sat in there for like an hour. It was really nice on my body that was still very much in pain from all the walking we'd been doing. I definitely was too far gone at that point, unfortunately, but having better shoes helped it not get worse at least. So yeah, that was really, really nice to relax in. And then of course I got the ice cream afterward and some midnight noodles. And They usually give you this like probiotic yogurt milk drink after you're in the onsen, but they only had that from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. and then after that was the ice cream. So that's when I drank my weird baby milk that I got at Don Quixote to kind of, I don't know, gain the benefits of that. It was very odd sucking on like a baby nipple again. I obviously, like, it felt familiar but also didn't because I wasn't like conscious when I would have been eating out of those. But it was a weird experience. But it tasted good. But yeah, I went to bed like, I don't even remember what time. It was pretty late. And then the next day was our Shibuya day. Alright, don't call me Homelander, come on now. But yeah, our next day was our Shibuya day. As soon as we got off the train, we went to the Hachiko Memorial, which if you don't know about Hachiko, it's basically like Seymour from Futurama, that really sad episode. Some owner left the dog there and it stayed there for like 14 years or something waiting for it to come back. It's really sad. So they put a little statue of Hachiko there. And of course the fucking day after we leave, they set up a stamp in this train station there of Hachiko, and I was so sad I didn't get it. But we were starving when we got there and we wanted to go to this one place, but we were just like way too hungry. So we found there's like a random tall building at the Shibuya Scramble. So that just said cafe on the 7th floor. So we went there and it was kind of like a Denny's. It was very Denny's adjacent. They have Denny's there. So it was like, but it was like a Japanese version of a Denny's, I guess. It was literally just called cafe. But that's the place that had the Kerfer waiters. And I was so excited when I got in there. And they had a menu collaboration with the Wild Robot. Don't really know why, but they had like a cheese-filled hamburger with cheese fries on top as part of that menu, so I got that, and it had the little duck or goose thing stuck in it, so that was cute. The food there was amazing. And the little Kerfer waiters were adorable. I took a video of it coming to our table. Yeah, they were so cute. I loved it so much. We ate something small there because we wanted to get more like actual Shibuya food. But after that is when we went to the Pokemon Center that was there, and that's the one that has the Mewtwo tank. But they had no Mewtwo merch inside. I was so mad. I was like, what do you mean the Mewtwo Pokemon Center doesn't have any fucking Mewtwo? Who does that? But the tank was really, really cool. There was like a screen showing like his vitals and shit next to it. And every once in a while the tank would glow pink and bubble. And I love him so much. We weren't in there very long other than to look for Mewtwo merch because we had been to so many other Pokemon centers at that point. But right across the way was another Nintendo store, so I tried to find chopsticks and stuff and hoped they would have better stuff in there than the last one, but it was actually smaller than the first one we went to, so Nick's passing the Kerfer waiter paper with Skibbity Toilet and it just fucking yeets me out of the building, the 7th story window. Oh my god. That would be so funny. Yeah, we went to the Nintendo store. They didn't have much more than the other one, but they had bigger like figurines of the characters, so I took pictures of those. And I got some Animal Crossing washi tape that I could use for my scrapbook for this trip. So I guess it was a little bit worth it. But there was also a Capcom store. I'm not a huge fan of many Capcom games, but my friend is. She loves Ace Attorney, so she got a shit ton of keychains of them. And they had this big like Monster Hunter display in the back that I took a picture of because I know a lot of y'all like it, but I do not care. And yeah, it was pretty cool in there. But my favorite dish, ooh, that's tough. Probably the cook your own Wagyu. The pork belly pasta from Korea was my favorite dish I had the entire time. But Japan specifically, I don't know. We had sashimi, we had the wagyu, we had a sake dinner pairing. It's really hard to choose. It was all really amazing. But I'll talk about the dinner in a bit. Oh, well, I guess I'll talk about it after the ads. We will be right back. Oh, fuck. What? Damn, Remy, turn them all down, girl. Who do you choose? Turn them all down. Turn them all down.
The salami.
Oh, hold on.
It won't fit.
It won't fit.
Salami lid.
It won't fit.
Page unresponsive and Google crashed.
Fit.
What?
It won't.
Hold on.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Damn, I never knew rap was that strong.
AI Mykonos, are we going to have another jam-packed, chaotic day? Potentially even get a few Oh, you bet. Get ready for some chaotic shenanigans and possibly a few of those legendary moments. I mean, with you and Nyx in the mix, it's just a recipe for mayhem. Who knows, you might even unleash that weird-looking cat energy today. Just try not to throw anything at the bat, all right? We wouldn't want them crying like the little hiccupy bat they are.
Yeah. Excuse me. What?
Time
Stop.
to game.
Time to. Excuse me? Don't throw anything at me or I'm gonna cry like a hiccupy baby. Get out of my ear. Apprentice? I don't think that's something to be happy. Oh.
The motherfucker is here!
You just called it a Mickey. Wait, you just called it a megaphone. You said Mickey fucking.
Shut up! I'm scared! I'm scared, baby!
We're getting under the seamless. Oh shit, we're all gonna die.
I'll do my best. My heart's pounding. Oh.
Piece of spinach was stuck in my throat.
Not the spanch. What is this? A skull. Another skull. Oh! Titties.
You talking about me?
No, of course not. No, Fruity!
Oh.
I watched that happen in real time. Holy shit. Did you record that? Thank God. Oh, fuck. Do you see him in the chat?
I'm over here.
No!
Fuck!
Oh no, Nyx.
He literally said I'm over here. Welcome back from the ads, everybody. I will not be deleting the link. Go get Mykonos some gifts. Okay. So yeah, Kerfer cafe, basically. Absolutely amazing. Mewtwo tank at the mall. My sister wanted to shop in Harajuku at that point, but we were all shopped out at that point. So my friend and husband and I went to a local dog park to look at doggies, and they had them separated by the weight of the dog. So there was like about 5 kilograms, and then like 15 kilograms, and then bigger than that. I don't remember what it was. Shade, oh my gosh. Thank you so much for 3 months in advance. Holy heck. That's so generous of you. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. My first sub is giving 3 months. Thank you. That's so kind of you. Thank you so much. But we first sat near the really small dogs, and I wish I could describe to you actually how small these dogs were. Like, I am not joking. They were this big. They were little teeny tiny teacup poodles. There was 3 of them, and they all had security shirts on, and they were just following their owner around the pen, and they were literally this big, like this. They were so small. They were the littlest, teeniest. Like, I cannot describe to you how small they were. They looked unreal. They were so cute. And then there was another one there that was in a skirt, and she was really cute too. And then like the medium-sized dogs, there was like a Scotty dog and some beagles, and the Shibas were so funny. Oh my god, Shibas are so hilarious. My husband was like unaware of like how stubborn and smart they are, so we were describing like how they behave and how they like pull on their leash, and there's like a whole line of like bags and art and stuff of Shibas, and my friend has one of a sheep literally pulling on its like leash and saying I don't wanna or something like that. It's really cute. But like, yeah, they're literally like, they're assholes, but they're amazing at the same time. Yeah, we watched the dogs for a while, and then there was a famous shrine nearby that has what's called the Big Torii, which is a huge torii gate. It's fucking massive. And I had made a joke about it previously because of my friend. But I just realized I can't repeat that, so never mind. But I was glad we got to actually see it. But they had this matcha ice cream there. I cannot describe to you the texture of this ice cream. It was the most smooth, delicious. I literally can't describe it because I never had anything like it, but it was just so perfectly creamy, amazing. It came out in like a weird texture for some reason, and like, I don't know, it was just the most amazing thing I ever ate. I think the matcha ice cream might have been my favorite thing I ate in Japan, actually. It like blew my mind. I could not get over it. I was talking about it for like an hour after we ate it. But yeah, we walked around this shrine for a while. It was really pretty. It was kind of like sunset at that time. My sister was finally done shopping at that point, so we all decided to meet at this one restaurant, which was right across the street from the Mega Don Quixote, and I was like, I cannot go in there. I cannot spend any more money. But the restaurant was a sake pairing restaurant, and they're like super friendly to foreigners, but they don't speak a whole lot of English, but they do have an English menu, and just to make it easy, we just did, you know, the sake pairing menu. There was 8 courses with there's 9 courses with 8 different sakes, because one of the courses was just rice with tempura stuff in it. And then there was also a pre-dinner course that they gave us before we even ordered, and it was like this cold chicken cutlet in this like slimy stuff. We just kept calling it slime chicken. It tasted really good. I have no idea what the slime was, but it was weird. The very first dish was this like peeled tomato and some kind of like olive oil dressing thing with a sake. Slickin', I hate that. There was sashimi at one point, which had more whale in it, I think, which my sister and friend did not like. There was some kind of chicken soup. It was really spicy. I liked it a lot. My friend and sister did not, because they don't like spicy stuff that much. There was grilled chicken, which you're supposed to put lemon on, and then the sake that they paired it with was also lemon-y, and it was really good. That was like my favorite pairing besides the first one, I think. What else was there? The dessert was ice cream with like a brown sugar or vanilla syrup that you're supposed to pour over it with dessert sake. I feel like I'm missing some dishes. I can't remember. But yeah, after 8 glasses of sake, I was very drunk. So we wandered around Shibuya a little more into a little more sober and handling the trains that late. But we wanted to see the Shibuya Scramble, so we went up to this one building that had a Starbucks and then some other like manga library above it, and then above that was like a quiet floor of that same manga library place. But the manga library place made you pay like a certain amount for like unlimited food and drinks for an hour, which would have been a good deal, but obviously we were super full from the sake dinner, so we didn't want to bother with that. So we went down to Starbucks, and they said you had to buy something in order to go to the area where it's really good to see the scramble. So I just like went around one of the trash cans and took a video anyway. That's why it's at kind of a weird angle. But it's like roped off, like they wanted you to pay to go kind of thing. Which I guess is fair. I bet it'd be really crowded as fuck if they didn't do that, but at the same time, fuck you. And what is my leg doing? Don't do that. Oh, and right next to the sake dinner place was a Taco Bell. And I wanted to go inside and eat so bad, but I was so full. I was so full from the dinner, and I didn't get to eat it. And I wanted to try it so bad. And there wasn't one near us in Tokyo, so that was the only one I could have tried, but it was literally 9 courses of food. So I'm very sad I missed out on Tokyo Taco Bell, but next time. Next time for sure I will get it. Oh, when we eventually got back to where our hotel was, there's a very big, beautiful shrine nearby where our hotel is, but it was mobbed every single day during the day. We would be like fighting through the crowds to get to the train stations and stuff like that, but it was nighttime by the time we got back, so we got to explore it without anybody else there again. So I highly recommend doing that if you ever go to Japan. It's cool to go during the daytime because there's like shops and like shrine offering things open, but it's also really nice and serene to go there when no one else is there and it's dark and it's quiet. Yeah, I figure you're not going to be doing anything other than talking about your trip for the rest of the stream, which is fine. We're going to still be on VRChat when you're done with stream. I'm asking because I want to know whether I should put up my laptop for the night. I'm probably going to eat dinner after this. And I'm still very tired and jet lagged because I got up at 4 a.m. this morning. So I probably won't be on VRChat much more after this. But I do plan on getting on for a hangout maybe sometime over the weekend. I need to change my stream schedule because of my husband's new work schedule starting on Sunday. So I will also be discussing that later once we figure out what that's going to be. But I probably won't be streaming on Fridays anymore, unfortunately. But we'll figure that out later. But yeah, I want to do a hangout soon. And we can do that later. But yeah, shrine was beautiful. And we were kind of just spending as much time as we could exploring before we had to leave the next day. It was very sad. I got in the onsen again that night and there was nobody there because we got in so late. But it's open from like 3 p.m. to 10 a.m. So it's like closed during the middle of the day. And so yeah, we went in at like midnight or 1 a.m. and there was only me and my sister and my friend in there. So I was a soup for a long time. But yeah, for our last day in Japan, we wanted just kind of one final hurrah of konbini food and seeing the cherry blossoms and stuff like that. So we packed our bags and had them stored in the lobby. We went to 7-Eleven and got all of our favorite foods from that whole time, but there was no more egg sandos. And we went to 2 separate 7-Elevens and they didn't have any egg sandos left. So I got an egg sando that had teriyaki chicken on it, which was good, but it's just not what I wanted, you know? And my friend and sister had bought Tokyo bananas, which is like a very popular pastry there, so we each had some of those. I had some royal milk tea again. I had another strawberry sandwich. I had some Black Thunder bars, which are amazing, by the way. We ate like 9 million of those throughout the whole trip. Yeah, just I got melon pan finally. Yeah, just a bunch of goodies, like a shit ton. And we walked to a local park called Sumida Park, which is where they hold the Cherry Blossom Festival. But we got there and it was still a little too early for those trees, apparently. There was only one tree there. That's the one that has like the wooden structure around it. That's the only tree that was bloomed there. So we ate our food there and then decided to go to Ueno Park, which we were going to avoid at first because we'd have to take a taxi over there for how far away it was. And we didn't have time to take the train because of our flights. But we just did it anyway because Ueno Park's one of the very first places in the Tokyo-ish area that blooms, and there was a fuck ton of trees there, but there was a fuck ton more people there because of that. But we just wandered around the park for a while. There was like food stands set up and stuff like that, and if we weren't so full from the konbini food, I probably would have gotten some. But we just sat under a tree and just talked about our trip for a while as like a final goodbye because we were so sad. Yeah, all the blossoms there were beautiful. It's where a lot of the pictures I took of cherry blossoms were of there and in Kochi Castle because they had a fuck ton of trees there, which was really nice. The picture from Kochi Castle is my phone wallpaper on my lock screen, and then the cherry blossoms from Ueno Park are my home screen on my phone because I love them so much. And so we took a taxi back to our room and then took a taxi from there to the airport because we didn't want to bother trying to drag all that shit on the trains again. And that taxi driver was really funny. He like was trying to lift my bag and it was really heavy, so he was like pretending to struggle with it and laughing hysterically. He was so cute. It took us to the airport and then we went back in time, which was very trippy. So our flight was at 6 p.m. and we flew for like 14 hours. So 6 p.m. Wednesday. We flew for 14 hours and landed at 3 p.m. Wednesday. So we went back in time and it was very trippy, and like my pictures in my phone were out of order because of that. And then I took another plane to where I live and got home around 8 p.m. And it was just so weird having only left quote unquote 2 hours ago. So that's why I've had insanely terrible jet lag. I keep waking up at like 5 or 4 a.m. and like passing out throughout the day. My friend said she slept from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. today. And yeah, we've been having a really hard time since being home. But I had some advanced before stream to help kind of wake me up. Last night was like 8 o'clock and I said I was going to eat dinner and then come back in my server to play some Marvel Rivals and stuff because I had been missing it, but I passed out in bed with my pizza, so that obviously did not happen. So I've been struggling, but it was absolutely worth it. It was a trip of a lifetime. We already changed the group chat name to Japan 2030, so I guess we're planning for that. I definitely want to visit the islands that we missed the first time, and I definitely want to spend more time in Osaka because we only had a few hours there. And like we did Osaka Castle, but I really want to do the river walk, and oh, that scared me. Why is that way up there? What the fuck? Glacy, thank you so much for the Daddy Bezos money. Thank you so much for 2 months subscribed as well. That's very kind of you. Thank you so much. I also want to spend more time in Kyoto because we really only went to the Bamboo Park and then like the Pokemon Center. I'd really like to see more of the like cultural stuff there, but we were just so rushed, and I really want to go to Nishiki Night Market when it's actually open. I think I'd like to stay in Kyoto next time and take the bullet train to Tokyo and stuff, which by the way we did. I forgot to mention. We took a regular train from Osaka up to Kyoto, and on the way back we wanted to get back kind of as quickly as possible, plus just to experience it anyway. So we took the bullet train from Kyoto to Osaka, and we were literally there in like 10-15 minutes. Like, it was so fast. It was so crazy. But I would love to take the bullet train on a longer ride because A, they have themed trains like the Hello Kitty train and the Zen Garden train and stuff like that. But B, they have like train like bento boxes because you're gonna be on there for like 2 hours, and I really wanted to get one, but they didn't have any for such a short trip from Osaka and Kyoto back and forth. So next time I definitely want to do that. I also want to go in the fall instead of cherry blossom season because A, I've already seen it now, and B, it's really crowded during cherry blossom season. We actually were a week before cherry blossom season really truly started, and it was still already really crowded. So I'd like to go in the fall. I also just love fall colors. Definitely spend more time in Kyoto and Osaka. I think I've had enough of Tokyo, so that's why I want to kind of stay in the Kyoto area, but also see. I'd like to go back to Fukuoka. Apparently they have a really nice nightlife there, but we were only there for a couple hours. You started taking Japanese classes? That's cool. I just got back from a 2-week trip from Korea and Japan, so that's what I've been yapping about for the past couple hours. I'd definitely like to spend more time in Korea as well. We had, like I said, barely 24 hours there, so I'd really like to explore more of that. I would love to live in Japan, but I think it would hurt me too much to move there because you'd be away from all of us. I mean, you're already kind of away from all of us anyway, but I understand what you mean. I think I definitely wouldn't mind living there either, but I feel like Japanese is really hard for me to learn because they don't use a typical alphabet. So if I do move, it'd probably be to Spain or something because I know Spanish. And apparently Spain is the easiest way to get a residency in Europe. So yeah. There's been a lot of videos about that because of the current state of things in the US right now, how to get out of here quickly and efficiently. So Spain's the way to go. But I think that people in Italy are paying people to move there. And I think there's some towns in Japan that are doing that too. They're paying younger people to move there because it's a much older population and they're like dying out there and yada yada. I'd be away from you and Mykonos and Raven, all my friends that live in the US. Well, yeah, I know what you meant. But I meant you're already kind of far away from us already, so. But I see what you mean. Oh yeah, my plane ride home was absolutely miserable too, which I think is also why I'm so jet lagged. So to save money, I decided to fly standby on the way home. I wasn't gonna do it on the way there because if I missed my flight, I'd be fucked. Like missing the ship, you know. But on the way home, I flew standby and it was only $40. But, you know, that means I had to get what seat was left. And there was one business class seat for a while, which is the one where you get the lay down. And I was so excited, but then someone took it and I was so sad. But I got to be in like the main cabin extra or plus or whatever it's called. Unfortunately though, they put me in the seat that's at the bulkhead, which is the worst seat ever because you can't put your bag in front of you. You have to put it overhead. So I didn't have access to any of my stuff unless I got up and got it over and over again, which I ended up doing because it's a 14-hour flight and I was bored. But that also means that your TV and your tray table are in the armrest, which means that they're solid metal all the way down instead of the one that you can flip up. And those ones are really, really tight. So I was getting squeezed on my hips the whole time because your girl got an ass. So I was being squeezed the whole time. and it just wasn't very comfortable. I can't really adjust very well in it, and I had two old crotchety men next to me the whole time that complained about every little fucking thing. One of them refused to eat the food, the other was complaining that the tray table was too small for all his food, and like my TV, the way that the aisle for the plane was, it was like this for the normal class / main cabin extra, and then it kind of curved a little bit and then continued going to where the business class was, and those are less seats, so I guess I don't know why it did the little swerve, but that meant that every single goddamn person and thing that went by me was bumping into me because of that little curve. Every time the food cart came by, they would hit me or my TV and knock it out of the way, so I'd have to fix it. They would run into me over and over again. They would hit me with the cart. Someone hit me with their fucking baby in my head. Oh my god, I was miserable, and I barely got any sleep because I was constantly being woken up by people running into me and knocking my TV out of the way and shit like that. And yeah, it was just absolutely miserable. I barely slept, and I was trying not to sleep anyway to avoid the jet lag, but yeah, it made the flight really excruciatingly long and miserable. And the baby, of course, was crying for a lot of it, because why not? Yeah, with the second flight, I was supposed to get a first class seat, but I think that they saw me and my husband's last names, so they put us together, so I was just in a regular seat. And I was like, I appreciate that, I guess, but I'd much rather have been in first class for this flight, especially with how miserable my first flight was, but it's fine. I'm not gonna complain. So there's that. But yeah, I didn't get to sit with my husband also that first flight because he was in a different section, so yeah. So that flight was miserable, but the food was still good. It was like a pork and noodle dish, and the snack was a sandwich and a Kit Kat and a cookie, which I thought was interesting. And then the breakfast was an egg and cheese omelet. That was pretty good. Yeah, and the seat didn't recline very much either because it was the bulkhead, so that was also not great. I tried really hard, but yeah. And then, like I said, the guys next to me were complaining about something the whole time. One guy read for like a long time, and his like light on the book was like reflecting in my face, so I couldn't sleep for the whole beginning, which is when you really should be sleeping. So I just watched a shit ton of movies. It was awful, but it is what it is, and it's already a bad flight anyway because you're leaving. Obviously that's like the worst flight, but it just made it all the worse. But I would do it again, A, to save the money, and B, because the trip was amazing, so absolutely worth it. My voice is so shot from talking. It's fine. I'm also very tired. I decided to work today because I'm dumb. But I was awake anyway, because I woke up at 4 a.m. for no reason. Oh, thank you for the hydrate. I should be doing that. Ugh. But I got myself a bunch of like matcha teas and Kit Kats, a bunch of different flavored Kit Kats, which I'm not gonna say because they're surprise for friends. Bought a fuck ton of rare Pokemon cards for my friend, and she paid me back for them. I just got a bunch of like random goodies throughout the trip that reminded me of people, so they will be shipped out tomorrow. But I'm really excited to eat all the snacks and stuff I brought up. I ate 2 of my chocolate bars already, and I'm trying not to like eat everything at once, but I just A, don't want it to go bad, and B, just really miss everything that's there. My mom had gotten me these like cherry blossom Lego things for Christmas as part of my like Japan gift, I guess, and I made those today because I was so sad to be home, and I miss it so much already. I miss the trains. I miss the bidets. I miss the people. I miss the food. I just miss not having to go to work and just exploring temples. Ugh, it's so hard to come back to reality after a trip like that, but I'm so glad I did it. And it's good to see you all again, and it was good to see my cats again. Zero was really, really, really sad. That was probably the longest we had ever been away from him for a long period of time, so he probably thought we abandoned him. And I had people coming here to check on him, but he hates strangers, so he was probably even more miserable. But, you know, litter box had to be changed and stuff like that. But, oh. But once he realized it was me, he was so happy, and he's been all over us nonstop since we've been home. He slept in this room, my office, all day today. He was climbing all over me. Slept with us last night, of course. I don't think he's still in here. He might be with my husband, but yeah. I missed him a lot. I got a pet camera while we were gone, and it throws treats at them, so I try to check on them every once in a while and like talk to them, but I think honestly it just made them more sad because my cat Sally would come downstairs to the camera where the camera was because she heard a noise, but she didn't see us, so she would like go in the kitchen and try to find us, and like I don't know, I think I was just confusing them and making them more sad that we weren't actually here. But I just threw a bunch of treats at them and I was like, I'm sorry, I love you. But yeah, I think next time I might have like my mom come or like someone come actually stay and live here, because Zero actually likes my mom and my sister. Obviously my sister couldn't stay here though because she came with us, so I don't know, maybe have some friends come over more often so he gets more used to them, so we don't have to abandon him next time. I just felt so bad. Oh, alright. I guess that's about it for my story time. I could go into more detail of other stuff if you guys have any questions. I'm happy to do so. But if not, I might just end stream here and go make myself dinner. But like I said, if you have any questions or want me to go into more detail about other things, I'm happy to do so. So what is that emote? Oh, it's that cursed cat thing. Well, I'm happy to be back and also not, you know what I mean? But I'm happy to see you all again. Definitely missed streaming and playing Rivals and playing Minecraft. I was hoping you guys didn't explode the server while I was gone. But I'll definitely be hopping in there more often again. I did all of my missions on Marvel Rivals today. It took me a couple hours. Trying to catch up for the board. Are you gonna make an attempt to get Minecraft next month? Nice. Yeah, it'd be nice to have you in the server. Speaking of, if you guys want to join the Minecraft server, !Discord, you can join our community Minecraft server and just join the Discord in general. We'll slowly but surely get back into doing regular movie nights and stuff like that. And I'm gonna talk with my husband this weekend to kind of finalize what my new stream schedule is gonna be like. I might have built a lot of shit on the server. Okay, that's fine. I think we're keeping Saturdays. I'm back and forth, and if I want to do Tavern Talk tomorrow, like I do, but my voice is obviously very shot, so I'll see how I'm feeling. Because my husband has off, I think it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday now, so I might keep Sunday streams and Saturday streams, but I think Thursday and Fridays are going to be going away, unfortunately, but I'll have to double check, so don't quote me on that just yet. But I might add a different weekday stream depending on, I guess, how miserable work makes me. That's why I don't really stream during the week, because I mean my work's not hard, but it is just exhausting and I don't feel like being entertaining after working.
in my thread. Hang on. Oh, Discord's closed. Hang on. Where's my phone? Where's my phone? Oh. I could probably get my husband to send me all his Gundam photos and I can show you guys. Because he took way more than me. Oh. Yeah. I'm pretty sure anyway. That's like the main guy, right? I think at least one of the dioramas I took a picture of has him in it, but maybe I don't. But if I don't have pictures of it, my husband definitely does. So I will ask him for those and maybe post them in the thread. Like I said, he took thousands. Gundam's like his favorite thing ever. He bought like, I think 6 or 7 kits while we were there, and he already has several others he's working on. So, good stuff. But yeah. I will definitely rest, Gamby, thank you. I love that people help me build my underwater glass village for villagers. Oh geez. Well, we are currently all living up on a mountain, but that doesn't mean you can't build your house somewhere else. But, what, Sally? I'm busy right now. I can't be loving on you. Love you. Love you. She's like clawing at me to give her attention. What? What do you... Sally. Quit. There's water nearby though. That's where Rab built his house, so I guess you could do it there. But like I said, you don't have to live in the same village as us if you don't want to. Gamby's giant fucking cave house thing is nowhere near us, so it's up to you. I feel like I'm missing something. I don't know. You updated Rab's skin. That's very nice. Oh, I guess what was nice about the ship is that they had a brand new casino put in, and we thought people weren't allowed to smoke in that one, but I guess they were. But at least it hadn't like fucked up the place yet, so it was really nice to actually walk through. We played Uno all night during one of the at sea nights, and we were like, we should just go in the casino and have like a Uno gambling thing. I took a bunch of stamps from all the different train stations. They're in my journal. They were really hard to find sometimes though. It's a whole cave village, of course it'd be big. I mean, yeah. Oh yeah, I posted pictures of all the stuff I bought. Minus the gifts in my server today, so if you missed that, you can go take a look. All my other pictures are in there also, if you haven't looked at those yet. And some story time in there as well. Sally quit. Sally keeps eating all my plastic. Oh, that's cool, Gamby. Guess that's it. It took up most of the stream time. Yeah, if you guys don't have any other questions, I'll probably head out. Let me look for someone to read. But feel free to ask questions, I don't mind going a little longer. But I'm gonna look for someone in the meantime. Who be streaming? I have a suggestion for someone to read. I've been hanging out with them lately on VRChat while you were away. Ooh.
If I don't have anyone, then absolutely. Oh, my throat. Holy heck, everyone's live right now. Oh, we got Zen doing VRChat. We have Comet doing Rain World. Or we have JoJo doing Repo. What are you guys in the mood for? VRChat, Repo, or Rain World? Or Shadow's suggestion. Zen does raid me all the time. I would love to. I try to raid Zen back whenever I can, but usually he raids me first. But we can get him sometimes. Zen? Alrighty. Zen it is. Well, thank you all for joining me for story time. I appreciate you being here. Thank you for the hype train in the beginning and all the other resubs and the follows and all the love today in general. A big appreciate y'all. They're playing Marvel Rivals right now. Oh, my goodness. Yeah. I missed you guys a bunch. Tavern Talk is tentative for tomorrow. That was a lot of tease. So just keep an eye in my Discord and I'll let you know if I'm up to it or who knows. We'll see how my voice is feeling tomorrow. But I'll be hanging out in my server when I can. I hope you all have a great rest of your night and a great weekend if I don't see you. Ooh, my body. My body hurting. Oh. Okay. Norman. 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 My own mod ain't even listening. That's crazy. I hate it here. Oh, yes, this was super fun. Thank you all again for your support. Do not buy me gifts and shit to help refund my bank account. It is my own problem. It's not for you to handle. But I love y'all. Give Zen all my love. And I'll let you know. Not Trone. Not the Trone. Yes, go give Mykonos some love and Bandit some love. Not me. Oh, speaking of Advanced GG, there's a new sour black cherry flavor that just came out today. And they recently restocked all the boba flavors, the taro and the mango one. So I'm finally gonna buy some taro. Really excited. So definitely go check those flavors out. And you get a free boba cup, I think, if you spend $50 or something like that. So get after it. That's like one tub and like some extra stuff. Do it. Oh no, Shimmer. You came literally right at the end of the stream. Well, if you want to hear my Japan story time, you can watch the VOD, I guess. Anyways, I love you guys. I'm gonna go take care of my Tamagotchi because he keeps yelling at me. And I'm gonna go make some dinner. But I love y'all. Have a great weekend. Bye bye. Give Zen all my love.